Welcome to the A Cast on Titan Chapter 75 edition. We're back again this month. We're going to go ahead and talk about the latest chapter that released and get into all the good details about that. So I'm going to throw out the disclaimer early this month that this is a Manga Spoilers podcast, which means that if you are not up to date with the manga, that you should go read it, listen to all the previous podcasts, and then come back here. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and move into introductions. We're moving lightning fast here. We're going to get going. Just normal order.
Alright, hey everybody, I'm Scott, also Scott to be 23 from the subreddit, and I really like this chapter. I think a good progression, a good action, and a good setup for next week, or next month, excuse me.
I'm Zach, with me too from the subreddit. I am one of the subreddit moderators. I also like this chapter and last one, which I was unfortunately not here for, although I'm getting pretty fed up with these goddamn cliffhangers.
I'm still reviewing from the subreddit. I am one of the other moderators, and this... As usual, I know Scotty's already waiting for it, but this was a decent chapter. I had some problems with Reiner again, but it was okay. I was expecting more climactic events in this chapter. I guess sort of what Zach was saying. I didn't like the cliffhanger as much, but overall, okay, it's pretty decent.
Okie dokie. Well, my name is Ryan. I go by WX Bombadil on the subreddit, and I thought this chapter was a lot of fun. There was a lot of cool moments in it. We got a few different things that happened, which was a lot of fun. And actually, I thought the cliffhanger was kind of nice. I mean, usually I'm not a huge fan of them, but there was a lot that happened, so it was a nice setup for what's going to come next chapter.
So, where do we want to start with this?
The beginning.
The beginning. Okay, start at the beginning.
It's a good place.
Coming off of last month's chapter, and we see my favorite thing. The best reference that I got out of this chapter was seeing Monkey Trouble actually do the pound of the ground pound thing and send all the little mini Titans in while the big ones are standing back to make the cage. It's just like that scene from that X-Men movie everybody hated where Magneto goes, you send the pawns in first, and he sends all...
Oh, was that the one where they had the plastic guns and shit?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And
I like that.
Magneto's on the bridge and he sends in all the shit young mutants as the pawns to start the big fight between the two groups. That's the first thing that jumped out to me. That's a very parallel scene, and that's the worst reference you're gonna get today.
We'll see.
Hopefully.
I highly doubt it.
Hopefully that's the worst one I throw out, but
Doubtful.
Yeah, just looking forward to more of that, I guess. Aside from the big punch-up at the end of this chapter, I was hoping for a little bit more than what we got.
I, for one, was happy with the direction they went in, which they were setting up for, and I'm glad they went the tactical route instead of just the all-out brawl route, which we've seen before in the past. Just to set up how the formation is equally the line for the perimeter, which is the large Titans for the cage, and then the pawns moving in to get rid of the horses, and Reiner was supposed to do that as well. So, and then the strategy of Eren running away so that Reiner would chase him. I just liked all that setup. And the action, the dialogue, I think was definitely manageable throughout this chapter. It served its purpose well.
So okay, let's just get into it right now. Let's talk about how fucking stupid Reiner is. Let's get into that right now. Okay.
Okay.
So he internally is thinking in the first couple of panels for him this chapter, my job is to kill the horses. I need to kill the horses. I should kill the horses. I need to kill the horses. Oh, it's Eren. Let's not kill the horses.
Well, the worst part about it, and I'm a guy who likes Reiner, the worst part is that he was completely aware of that. He said, oh shit, they're trying to draw me away from them so that I don't attack the horses. Yeah, he even was aware of what they were doing. He's like, oh, they're drawing me away so I won't attack the horses. And then he goes and doesn't do it anyway. I mean, he purposely made the decision to not. It's very strange. It's very strange.
The thing is, when their overall goal here in Shiganshina is to capture Eren, if Eren's going to get away, they need to avoid that at all costs. So it made sense to me, at least.
I don't...
Well, and I guess, let me phrase this, because I just thought of this now, and this maybe is giving Reiner a bit of credit, because this goes back to the whole thing with his split personality. Well, I'm sure he wants to accomplish his mission, but at the same time, I'm sure he would prefer to avoid killing all his, former friends if he could. So if he had the choice between go Eren, who's purposely separating himself from everybody else, or kill the horses, which is essentially, giving a death sentence to them, because there's very slim chance they're going to get out without it. He's taken the option to save as many lives as possible, even though it may be hurting his goals in the long run. I don't know if that's necessarily purposefully, totally intentional on his part, but I think that's a contributing factor to his decision.
So here's the problem. They tried to rationalize this a couple of pages later, where they actually explained the plan a little bit, where they said, okay, we want Reiner to attack Eren, and Reiner goes, okay, well, if I don't attack Eren, Eren's gonna go make a pincer attack against Monkey Trouble with Levi, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the reasoning. Though if we go back a couple of pages, what do we see? We see Reiner go, man, Monkey Trouble is tough. I don't think Levi could probably take him down. I think Levi would lose that fight. He's so confident in Monkey Trouble that he's fine with him fighting Levi. But as soon as Eren gets added to the mix, all of a sudden it's a different scenario.
Well, Reiner never considered the possibility that Eren would go attack Monkey Trouble.
Well,
yes, he did.
Yeah, there was.
No, that panel was Erwin explaining their plan.
No, but then Hanji says, knowing him, he should come to that conclusion. So we're led to believe that he did come to that conclusion because he chose to go after Eren. So therefore, he thought that far through and came to the conclusion that Eren would do the pincer attack, and that's why he made the decision to leave the horses and go for Eren.
And even going back to the last chapter, if Eren does run back to Trost, he'll be running back by himself. Monkey Trouble and crew are just going to clean up and just destroy the Survey Corps without Eren there. That's also a losing scenario.
Maybe losing, but it's also losing Eren, which is their goal.
They still have time to capture him, I guess, because at that
I don't
point,
think so.
He's on his own, though, at that point.
No, but
I think we see the priorities play out right here because Reiner makes a decision. He says, I can kill the horses and essentially kill the people, or I can focus my efforts on Eren. And I think he realizes that that's the priority. It's better to
Why
capture.
don't I do both by going to attack the horses and then having Eren chase me?
That's not necessarily.
Eren would flee.
Yeah.
The point of killing the horses is so they can capture Eren. If they kill the horses and Eren's gone, it's pointless.
If he flees, they still have Berthold and Monkey Trouble if they try to do the pincer attack.
No, the point is Eren could just flat out leave. Screw the pincer attack and just
flat out
book
leaves. Eren is not going to leave the Survey Corps to all die.
No, but he could do another one of those Levi moments where Levi's like, trust the group, and then he just leaves and pieces out, and then I mean, honestly, we've seen Eren do it like
in the long-term scenario, Eren by himself is not going to be able to win.
Well, it's
thing, Eren plus Pixis and everyone else left in the military.
But we also learned the point where later on they say only in 2 months Eren was able to learn the hardening ability. If he can gather the full potential of the coordinate, it will be too late. Which means that potentially if an individual gathers the full potential of the coordinate, it might be useless to recover it because he might have tapped the power. It might be not an unlimited power source, and if it's untapped, then you can extract it and use it for your own. But if someone else has gathered that power, then you can't take it as easily. So they don't want to waste the time of, if Eren, let's hypothetically say that Eren were to leave, what would he do? Clearly he would train. If he were to train, he could harness the full power, and then maybe all their plans would be for naught in that situation.
Train by himself, though?
Because he would be motivated.
They still got
Pixis
sure. And everyone else.
Eren's always had a very strong support group in the Survey Corps. He's always had people who knew how to respond to him.
But it's not like anybody taught him how to harden because he was the only one who could do it. He kind of had to teach himself.
They gave him ideas and they gave him the platform for him.
Think really hard about it.
But at the end of the day, it was him who had to teach him himself.
Well, they provided the motivation and they provided the setting and they provided a lot of the the groundwork for that.
I mean, he'd still be able to do that. He could make his motivation as, those bastards just killed everyone I care about. Let's learn how to use the coordinate or whatever.
The humanity without the Survey Corps, if he has to go back, the garrison's not going to become the new Survey Corps. The military police isn't going to become the new Survey Corps.
Hell yeah, they will.
No, they can't, because they have to have people there defending the walls. They're not going to agree to that.
Either way, the point is moot, because he's not going to do that regardless. He would never leave them.
True.
Just because that really doesn't fit his personality.
And
we know he
right
did.
There.
Yeah.
That's the exact reason why Reiner should have gone and killed the horses.
And also, can I say that this... Not only is that a moot point, but the entire pincer tag is a facade. Because if you look in the one-page picture on Crunchyroll, page 32 to 31, it shows an example of what the pincer tag would look like. And it has Eren running from behind, and it has the Survey Corps on their horses attacking Monkey Trouble. They would have no horses to run to Monkey Trouble for the pincer attack if Reiner went for the horses.
Even if they did have their horses, that's still not a winning scenario, because they still have the big cage of Titans that he would just have attacked them at that point.
No, the cage couldn't come down because then they could escape. But even with that logic, though, let's say that, giving Isayama or whoever the credit and, a reasonable doubt that the horses would give them an edge and potentially make them capable of producing combat that would prove troublesome for Monkey Trouble when combined with Eren, they still wouldn't have the horses to begin with, so they'd have to literally run towards Monkey Trouble just head first, and that wouldn't work. So the pincer attack isn't even an option. What are you going to? He's in an open field. Look at the picture. They can't grapple onto anything.
That's just simplified. Remember, the outside of Shiganshina was civilized towns and shit.
No, he's in I'm pretty sure he's in an open field. We've seen. Remember when he was throwing those rocks? It was an open field. Multiple times that area has been an open field.
The main point I wanted to get at, I guess, was that having Reiner switch from killing the horses to killing Eren is the only possible thing that could have happened to fuck up the plan.
Yes, and
That's
I think
the
it's
only possible way he could have ruined that whole scenario.
I don't want to go flat out and say it was contrived, but it certainly did feel that way, because you think, knowing Reiner, knowing the guy who finished, what did he finish, like second in his class back in the day? Yeah. So he's not a stupid guy by any stretch of the imagination. He's not a dumbass.
Yes,
he clearly knows better, and I feel like, again, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that there's a good reason, but it feels like Isayama went out of his way to make him make a stupid, illogical decision so the plot could progress in the right direction, right? Because I feel like in any other situation he would just kill the horses and we'd be a totally different place.
But I think that's more of a fault of Isayama, and I'm not going to blame Reiner for that.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Right, because we're led to believe by the manga that Reiner made a very smart decision. Yeah, we can logically think, hey, that actually wouldn't have worked, but that's not a fault of Reiner, because Reiner is only a character that Isayama wrote, and he wrote him to think that was a smart decision. Whereas we can clearly see that wasn't a smart decision. But that, again, that's not on Reiner, that's on Isayama.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Based on precedent, what we've seen out of Reiner up to this point, I feel like it doesn't really fit his character what he just did.
You draw your boundaries.
Well, Reiner knows it's a stupid decision, but it's the only decision he has. He can't risk Eren escaping.
No, but the point is he thinks that's a smart decision. We are led to believe as a reader. Yes, we are led to believe that he is avoiding a pincer attack. He thought 10 moves ahead that he knew this pincer attack was happening. Reiner is made out in this situation to be a genius, that he could think this far through. So yes, we are made to think that Reiner just made a very calculated tactical decision in going for Eren because he could have foreseen the pincer attack. So that
I still don't think Reiner foresaw the pincer. Hanji says, even if things don't go that well, our enemies should be confused if it looks like Eren's trying to get away and their formation surrounding is sure to crumble. Question is whether or not Reiner will be able to see that far ahead. Then Eren says, knowing him, he should come to that conclusion.
So then, yes,
it reads to me like they're talking about Eren escaping, him coming to the conclusion of Eren escaping, not the pincher attack.
I'd just like to point out that the little slide that that he uses as the example of he should come to that conclusion is Reiner with a smug fucking face writing on a chalkboard. That's like the indication that Reiner's smart.
Oh yeah, there's some equations he's writing on that board. You saw theory of relativity right there.
You can draw your boundaries between the two, between Isayama and Reiner. Yes, it's contrived as fuck to make Reiner do the only thing that could have ruined this plan, but at the same time, sort of what Ryan mentioned, at one point, and even sort of how we talked about how he's being played out as a smart guy, in critical situations where he makes decisions like these, and this is not the first time, to make these kind of mistakes implies to me that he's not as able as they've made him out to be, right? To the point where, I got an analogy for this, where this is like somebody who got 4.0s in college and just did the perfect stuff all the time, goes out into the workforce and does a completely shitty job at the thing that they were so good at in college, right?
Let me remind you that Reiner is the one who said that the weak point of a Titan is their asshole. I don't exactly think he's the smartest person.
I think he's being facetious.
We just talked about how they've played him up as a smart guy in the scenario. And plus, he was number 2 in the top 10 rankings.
And you don't think he possibly could have gotten there just by brute strength and tutoring from Annie?
Well, it's
No.
not just that. There are academics to it too, right? So he's been painted as an all-around strong character, I guess, right? And his complete failure to be useful in most critical situations.
Well, and part of that is...
I don't know. Reiner has always read to me like a bumbling idiot.
He's a bait and switch because he's painted as like a minor boss or like a big threat, and he's really not, because he's not what he's been painted as. He's and he has that split personality thing, but we've never seen it come into use. We've never seen it be useful at all to a situation.
Split personality is usually not very useful.
I don't mean useful as in like it's giving a practical effect, but we've never seen it actually affect anything other than
useful in terms of storytelling, right?
Yeah, useful as in storytelling, because all we've seen it involved with is his character development. Otherwise, it's not been involved in anything. Almost to the point where it's useless.
We also haven't seen much of Reiner since we found out about it.
His entire character at this point, to me, seems useless, except for being a friggin' chess piece on a board.
What? No way. He's knocking down holes in walls and shit.
That's all he's good for.
And also, just to add on to this Reiner hate, he's further like demoralized as a character when he's getting his ass kicked by Aaron. Aaron literally was just like,
Aaron internally is talking shit about him.
he's like, Annie taught me well. And then he's like a combat master at hand-to-hand combat, just obliterating Reiner. It's like, okay, I mean, I guess I can buy that Annie taught you, but it's still like, the fight was much closer when you fought the first time.
I had a big rant.
Yes, but now Aaron's fought him before, and he knows what to expect, and he has, hard fists that
I
can
had
do
a big
damage.
rant about that not too long ago on the subreddit, where I blasted Reiner for not beating him the first time, and how I guess that led me on the path to getting to this point where Reiner is just the most fucking useless piece of shit ever. And
he really is.
He's gonna lose this fight too to Aaron, and
well,
it's Aaron. He is going to lose somehow and be kidnapped again.
I'm hoping he dies. I hope this is where Reiner dies, because at this point,
hope so too,
he's completely useless.
We're definitely getting to that point. It feels like it anyway.
Also, how weird and how odd was it that we finally learned Reiner's power, which is to put his brain power or his brain memory or usage across his entire body, so that if his neck gets cut off, whereas his brain would shut down, now his brain power is all over his entire body, so he can regenerate his head or whatever and still survive. So that's how he got.
I felt like that was probably just a shifter thing in general.
Well, that's going to be useful for somebody else, not for him.
Yeah.
Plot point.
He established that power so someone else can take advantage of it.
Yeah.
How sad is it that Berthold is more useful in this situation by being hidden away and doing absolutely nothing?
Well, he's the wild card.
He's literally just sitting in a barrel doing nothing, and he's more useful than Reiner is.
He's in a barrel. I think he's somewhere near the wall, which is why Aaron was like, I gotta go in the middle of the city so that, surprise Bert can't stomp on me again.
Bert might as well be
Scotty, up until about 10 minutes ago, I agreed with you, but then when I was rereading the chapter, I noticed that the barrel on the right has air holes in it, which would match up perfectly with the shot of Berthold we had a couple chapters ago.
Well, then I'm pissed at Isayama for not drawing that shot, the first one you're talking about, with it actually looking like a barrel on the inside. And to be honest, it seemed pretty roomy to be a barrel, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's probably true, but I think it'd be pretty goofy if that was the case.
Page 9, top right.
But you remember from, what was it, a chapter or two ago when we saw that shot of him with the holes?
Yeah, it looked
it was just a nondescript wall, blank wall, with plenty of breathing room. He was, standing.
And he was looking out.
No, he was crouching, I'm pretty sure. I'll try to find it.
And then in this chapter, the Titan that's walking on all fours has a barrel on it.
I mean, you're probably right, because there'd be no other reason to put the holes in the barrel, but...
Everyone else has pointed that out to this point, that it seems like such a foregone conclusion.
Yeah. But I criticized the art style from the first time we saw it, because it should at least look like a barrel from the inside, don't you think?
I think he did that to throw you off so that you didn't know where he was.
So that's a lazy way of doing it.
And then in this chapter completely fails at keeping the secret very well.
Why the hell would he be on the quadriplegic whatever Titan?
Quadriplegic?
I saw a theory about this. Here's what's going to happen. I love this theory a lot. What's going to happen is the quadriplegic is next to Monkey Trouble, right? the idea is that Monkey Trouble is going to continue to survey the situation, and if, like, say, Aaron is beating Reiner, he's going to pick up that barrel that has Berthold in it, and he's going to throw it over Aaron. Berthold's going to shift.
Oh God, it's literally a nuke.
He's
crush
going
him.
to do a freaking elbow drop right into Aaron's head, man.
Just pancake him.
All right,
man,
so
that's a
I
good
found the
idea.
page.
That's the plan.
I found the page. It does look pretty rounded. I'll paste the link in here.
We're going to get to see Monkey Trouble's specialty of throwing something again. He's going to throw the barrel with Berthold in it.
I mean,
that
what
pipe.
else would a monkey specialize in?
A couple of different things, actually. But we don't want to go
No,
there.
it's the barrel's pretty cramped. You can
so
see his
I'm
knees are up
looking at-
against his chest.
I'm looking at what you just linked, Zach, and you guys are probably right that it is a barrel, but those holes look so uniform. And this isn't a critique on that idea. This is just a critique on the way he drew the picture you linked, because it doesn't look anything like a barrel from the inside. You know what I mean?
No, it
and the
doesn't.
holes are
And
so
that
uniform.
you're probably right that is meant to keep a surprise. But I mean, like, you can see the obvious curvature just from the circles. The wall, nowhere in the walls has that level of curviness.
Hopefully,
or
I would hope not. Yeah.
hopefully this is a red herring and he's not actually in the barrel,
Yeah, maybe he's in a building or
so
something.
that we can actually give ECM a little bit of credit for this.
Yeah, because I feel bad because I'm just talking to shit about the guy for this awesome series he wrote, and all I can do is complain about all his shitty art style.
I mean, that's why all of you are here.
That's
True.
true. That is one roomy ass barrel, though.
Right?
Like, looking
That's
at it from here, that looks like he has some arm room. He could do some exercises in there.
Well,
Like,
and
that's
look
not-
how-
Doesn't his arm or his legs are pressed up against his chest?
He's tall.
Yeah,
so he
but-
doesn't have leg space.
Yeah.
Well, look
But,
how
like-
close together the holes are, and then look at the barrel from chapter 75.
So going back to it, I guess the point mentioning Berthold there is I hope that when we see Berthold go into action, that he's not as useless as Reiner.
The
Because,
holes are even
fuck,
staggered.
man.
Oh, you know what? And I feel kind of dumb because we probably aren't giving Reiner enough credit in the sense that we were talking about all about his decision making, whether go to the horses or go for Aaron. But at the same time, we shouldn't forget that he knows what the plan with Berthold is, and he has that in mind when he's already making the decision. So for all we know, he has
is
this
planning
plan.
on it.
Yeah, exactly, and he already has an idea that we don't know about because we don't know what Berthold's going to do. He's the wild card, like we said, and we have no idea how he's going to
don't
come into
know.
play here. But Reiner does, and he has that knowledge making the decision that he did. So I know maybe we're just not giving him enough credit.
We
for
have
this particular case.
strong ground for questioning his decision making.
Sure, but we don't have all the facts.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Still,
I
even
know. I think we'll have to wait and look until we see what Bert does and the battle kind of comes to its end before we can look back holistically and say, okay, was
the
that
thing is
a
that
good or bad
he's,
decision?
He's second guessing himself. He's going over multiple possibilities and making that decision involving Berthold. It should be easy considering he has Berthold as support, right?
Depends. I mean,
let's go back to the scenario where Aaron makes a break for it. He just tries to run away. Let's say Monkey Trouble decides, okay, if he's going to run away, I'm going to throw Berthold at him, and I'm going to throw him in front of Aaron so he lands in front of him when he shifts, and that'll create a smoke screen, and Aaron won't be able to see, and now Berthold will be right in front of him and be able to kick shit in if he wants to, right?
no, we don't know if Berthold can stand on his own, right? We've only ever seen him leaning against the wall, correct? Because I was going to say, let Reiner chase off Aaron if he runs away, because he got Big Bert just ready to stomp the horses,
That's
right?
true, yeah, you could do that too. That works just as
But
well.
if he has to lean against the wall, that might be a bit of a limited mobility issue.
Use him to kill the horses. He doesn't have to stand, just fall on the horses.
Yeah, why didn't they just do that? Yeah, huh? I don't know. That probably oversimplifying, because there's no way that would work, right? I'm sure they'd see him coming and the horses wouldn't move.
God, I have to trust the Monkey Trouble knows what he's doing, but these two chuckle fucks, Reiner and Berthold, God, I just can't trust them for nothing.
Well, we don't know all the facts yet. We gotta wait till it plays out before we can really judge.
Even though we've already
their
talked about how
fault.
we know that this decision was specifically made so that the plan could fall apart for Monkey Trouble's team.
Well, and that's the thing. For all our posturing and all our gesturing and whatever, at the end of the day, even though I think Reiner's a pretty cool guy, he's still the antagonist in this situation, and we know the protagonists are going to win out because that's just how this month plays out.
That's fucking bullshit, though. Because
I still think Aaron's going to get kidnapped again.
how many chapters?
God,
How many chapters did we look at characters and say, "Man, there's so much gray going on here. Look at all this gray they're throwing onto people. Look at all this, morality and decision making, like making hard choices and all this shit. That's falling apart here when we're talking about, oh, well, the good guy's going to beat the bad guy.
Well, it does seem like, because it seemed like Reiner in this chapter didn't have a good, like before him there was always that whole mental illness thing where he's like, oh man, am I a scout, am I a warrior, et cetera, et cetera. But now it seems like he's just straight up evil. He's just like, oh, I'm going to complete my mission and fuck them all over because...
So are we just saying that Reiner is just not even important enough to care about his motive? I'm not saying that. And I think that, again, like I've said a million times here, I don't think we can judge his decisions yet until we see this whole arc come to a close, this battle come to a close and see the result of it. Because, again, until we know what Bertholdt's role in this is, until we know what Monkey Trouble's eventual plan is, we have to assume that, this is all going according to their plan at the moment, because Monkey Trouble doesn't seem too troubled by what's happening, at least right now. So I think once we find that out and we're able to look back and say, okay, knowing what their role in this was, then we can make a better decision whether it was justified or not. Monkey Trouble's got that
to
swagger.
Be fair,
like, he just doesn't care about anything. Monkey Trouble's got that swagger. Like, he could just walk in there by himself and just take care of business.
He probably could. He might end up doing that. If Reiner gets taken down by Eren, or a combination and Bertholdt's plan falls through...
It's true. They're going to need his support, for sure.
Oh, Monkey Trouble's just going to stroll in there and just kick ass, take names, and just eliminate the threat. Like, it's going to be awesome. I hope that happens.
Well... Monkey Trouble can't see inside the city, but aside from that, I don't think the Survey Corps is going to win this, just because this is still Attack on Titan. It's a pressing story. Isayama spent quite a bit building our hopes up now. I think he's going to spectacularly crush them.
He better, because otherwise this is going to be the most generic, fucking predictable schlock that we would never have expected from the show.
Well, I'll go back to what I said before, what we've said before in previous episodes, is that I think we're giving the series too much credit when it comes to that aspect of it. I think he started out like that, and then it got popular, and he's changed his mind since then. And we're pretty much into what I'm honestly, and I don't mean to be derogatory towards it, but it's a pretty generic manga at this point, I think.
Which sucks because it got popular for that reason.
It does, and that's the thing. I don't know how to feel about it. It's a great story. I'm still enjoying it, but I totally disagree when people come up with this attitude of anybody can die at any moment, or it's not the traditional thing. No, it's been playing pretty much by the book ever since we got past that first couple arcs.
The thing about it is that we're in it for the long haul now.
Oh yeah.
There's no getting off of this ship.
No, ship sail. We're already stuck.
We're stuck here until it's over, right? So, I don't know. I'm hoping that he's able to surprise us, but man, is it not looking like it.
Yeah. What do we think about that Cargo Titan having sentience, or like being an actual shifter, because that's what they think that they're alluding to.
That was weird that they called that one that had intelligence, because that to me just looked like an aberrant. That just looked like
no way that thing is a shifter.
That takes me back to the Ymir-sama Titan, the one with the Center notebook, because that's the same thing where it wasn't necessarily an aberrant, or maybe it was. I don't know. I guess it was.
It had intelligence, but
it wasn't a shifter as far as I could tell. But it still had intelligence, was able to talk. So there's nothing that we've seen that would prevent that from happening. At this point, I think.
True. Titans are probably on a sliding scale of intelligence from pretty damn smart, most of the brain still intact, which would be an aberrant or the saddle Titan, all the way down to full-on retard.
It makes you wonder if the longer... Yeah, because we know how if you're in a Titan form for a long time, your body eventually just fuses to it, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the case where, like Zach is alluding to, the longer you are as a Titan, the dumber you get.
I love the Crimson Head scenario that they applied here, but I think that this Titan is pretty irrelevant. I think he's only there to be the... How do you say it? He's the handoff for Bertholdt, basically. And he's not going to have any importance other than, Bertholdt was on him the entire time, and that's going to be the end of it for him.
I mean, it also served the purpose to forward the thought process of there are multiple shifters, or not shifters, but there are multiple enemy forces. Like that's what Reiner said, or excuse me, Erwin specifically says the enemy forces are even bigger than we expected. So it appears to me he's considering the Saddle Titan as one of the enemy forces. And by that, there are many others that are Titans that have some form of intelligence that can either produce movements or patterns or conduct themselves in a way that would be an offensive towards the Survey Corps. But
I think Erwin thinks it's a shifter, and I think he's retarded for thinking that.
I don't know. I kind of think it's smart, because if I'm Erwin, I'm thinking, Well, it's just because I have a bias against Reiner. It's that, okay, we have these two shits that we're pretty familiar with. If we can handle them, like I'm trusting Levi to be able to take down Monkey Trouble. Maybe he has a pinch hitter out there that he's waiting to call in just in case things go south. If so, we need to identify that right away.
We should also keep in mind, and this kind of goes back to what Erwin was saying, I think, is that this is the first time we've seen, due to Monkey Trouble, the Titans in essentially a coordinated attack. They're not just kind of randomly, rolling forward and doing their own mindless thing, but he's got them, in rank and file, and he's coordinating the attack, and they're following his instructions. So it's not just the mindless rabble we're used to. It's there's actually an element of structure to it, which I think makes it a lot more difficult than what just a random massive horde of Titans would be.
If we're going to give him credit for anything here, it's that it's a very interesting scenario he created where we actually have a strategic/tactical thing going on instead of the normal punch-up between two shifters.
And that's why I think with our little four-legged friend with the barrels on his back, I don't think he's necessarily really, a smart Titan, just that because Monkey Trouble is able to command these guys, he can give off the illusion of intelligence, or rather the fact that Monkey Trouble's intelligence is kind of shining through in his command of these guys.
The Horse Titan is basically just an extension of Monkey Trouble's eyes at this point.
Exactly, yeah, he's a pawn.
I'm still completely biased because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, man, in this scenario, I don't understand the Cervic Corps' plan. I don't understand how they intend to. What are they doing here? Why are we here again?
I think there's. I'm fairly sure there's a part of the plan we haven't been told yet. That's being left out intentionally so we can reveal it next chapter or the chapter after that.
That's whatever the hell the Thunder Spears are.
Yeah, they're ace up their sleeve, yeah.
Thunder Spears.
The Thunder
God,
Spears.
It sounds cool.
I don't know what that is.
I feel kind of bad because I definitely know I made an argument a couple weeks ago on the subreddit about how that's the stupidest idea ever. There's no way that would work with any kind of launching some kind of 3DMG device, like launchable fucking device or whatever. Yeah, which I still think it's a dumb idea. I mean, realistically, when you think of swinging on those tight ropes, firing a moving object at another moving object at this small, tiny little target, boy, you think it'd be tough to actually hit it. But
I guess
apparently
the
it's going to work in
logic could be applied to the anti-personnel 3DMG then.
True, yeah. Well, to be fair, I mean, the 3DMG is bullshit to begin with, so I really shouldn't be applying any of these rules to it.
It's just
everything's fair game at this point.
There's a lot of weight to how useful the Thunder Spears are. Because if the Thunder Spears aren't the best thing to put the Titans on their heels, the Cervic Corps is wasting manpower here.
Is there a reason?
Well, I think it's a specifically anti-Reiner weapon.
It seems like they're hedging their bets specifically on Eren kind of taking on Reiner. I mean, I know they're most likely going to aid him in some way, but it seems like they're expecting Eren to do most of the legwork on taking down Reiner.
Isn't that how it's always going to be? He's a shifter. It's not something you can take down with 3DG.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I bet I know what the spears are for. I bet it's going to be a situation kind of similar to where, when they trapped Annie, for example. Except they're going to try to trip him up. They're going to try to wrap all the wires around his legs and stuff like that, so that he can't, gets all tied up, falls down, and then they can get him from there.
Yeah.
Well, every single shifter we've seen has had, I said this in the last podcast, every single shifter we've run into has had a defense for the neck. They've always had some sort of weird power.
Well, that's why I don't think they're going for his neck in this case, or at least not directly. And that's why I'm putting my money on it right now. They're going to use those spears to create a bunch of, trip wires and basically either wrap him up or trip him up somehow and get him on the ground.
Well, what I mean is if they get him on the ground, he's just going to activate whatever neck defense he has, and he'll be fine.
I think that they're more of a electrically based weapon, if anything, just by the name. I'm thinking maybe
electricity.
We got a lot of things recently, man.
Reiner,
I don't know.
We got them crystals, though.
The crystals crushed up makes them sort of paralyzing poison or some shit. I don't know.
We had that time skip, man. You could have a lot happen in the time skip.
But no, I think that it'll be something that they shoot Reiner and he gets paralyzed somehow. It's definitely some sort of projectile, and I feel like it wouldn't be this hyped up if it was just another way to make him trip.
That would be super stupid if it was electrified, because that is a massive, massive jump from discovery of harnessing electricity to electrified weapons. That's not an overnight
electrified,
thing.
in the literal sense, but
I mean, we've only barely scratched the surface of that in the 20th century, let alone, I don't know.
You guys have played Portal, right?
Yeah.
I played Portal.
You know what happens when you crush up moon rocks?
Shut the fuck up, Zach. What are you talking? No, what happens when you crush up moon rocks?
You get cancer, like Cave Johnson.
Oh my god.
That might be the same thing here with the crystals.
I don't see
Like
that.
some sort
Crush
of
up
paralyzing
cases and get cancer?
asbestos or some shit.
That would give you
Oh
cancer?
goodness.
Oh,
Considering the
is
Titans are already
plan
like
to give
immune from
Reiner
most health
cancer?
problems.
Yeah, which is
Stupid,
funny.
because his cells can
I
heal
mean,
themselves.
I
That wouldn't
think you
do
concluded
anything.
earlier, Siller, that Reiner's character is already cancer.
So that's
Oh,
playing
Reiner's
the
work.
ultimate long con. Like, oh, we're gonna get killed here, but at least I gave you cancer.
You know
The next
exactly.
time-
Like 30 years.
Yeah, he comes back, he charges, he has a full bald head, like he has no hair on his head.
They got
it's like,
me real
we got
good.
him.
They did.
I want so much to draw this.
No,
But no, that won't work because if their cells can heal themselves already, like the whole thing about being a Titan shifter, then I don't think giving them cancer would really do much.
No, of course not.
I'm not talking about giving him fucking cancer. God damn it. I'm saying that the crystals, when crushed, do something like the moon rocks in Portal.
Okay. I hope not, but that's okay.
Yeah. No, but I really do think, I mean, calling it thunder really strongly implies something, some
That's
lightning,
powerful,
electricity.
at the very least.
Well,
It might just refer to the thunder that's summoned when a shifter shifts.
The guy who named it
That's
might
what
have
I'm
just
saying.
been like, "Hey, that sounds cool."
I was thinking
I don't
because
know,
it makes
man.
a loud noise when they fire it. It goes boom like thunder.
Oh, that's true. That could be it. I hope so.
It probably has.
Well, it's an
absolutely nothing to
anti-shifter
do with it.
weapon, so it might just refer to the lightning when they shift.
What would applying electricity to a regular Titan even do?
We'll find out.
Electric shock therapy.
I don't think it's gonna have anything to do with electricity. It's gonna be like an
I
impact.
really
Once
hope.
again, it is not meant for use on regular Titans.
It's
It was
gonna be-
only deployed on the teams that were going to take out Reiner.
It's just gonna be an impact type.
Okay, well let
You know
me
what
say
it
it
is?
this
It's
way.
probably like a concussive force that's meant to break his armor.
It's a spear,
Maybe.
not a hammer.
Well, yeah, you.
Spears pierce armor.
Yeah.
Here's how I'll tell you it's not electric, because if you look at the last panel, you can see a pretty good shot of the setup they have. The whole thing's metal with a metal cable leading to the metal brace around their arm. If the thing was electrified, there's no way they could do that with it just shocking themselves.
Yeah. That's,
I think we've put the electricity thing to rest here.
yeah. Good.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's like some sort of pneumatic device.
I could believe that. I mean, it is gas powered, it is
Adding
pneumatic because it is gas
default.
powered. So by default, it's pneumatic. But
I mean, like you press the button and it like shoots out like a
a harpoon.
like Wolverine's claws or some shit. I don't know how to. I don't know how to make an analogy to you.
I
people.
feel like it looks like it's like a harpoon. You know,
Yeah,
it's gonna
X-Men.
shoot out
Yes.
with a fucking cable behind it. Kind of like the regular 3D already. But I still think they're gonna tie him up with it somehow, trip him up, fire it into his calves or something.
Actually, I think I talked myself into really grounding myself into this one theory. I'm pretty sure that spears and harpoons, whatever, it's going to pierce his armor. I feel like it's going to be used to get past it, to hit a vital spot like his leg or his arm. It'll render that limb defective. Like, it won't be able to function properly. He won't be able to heal because it'll be wedged in there. And then as he's on air, it'll only complicate things, and it'll ultimately lead to his demise. I think that's what's
So
going to
it's a
happen.
foregone
Exactly.
conclusion.
It can't be something meant to like trip him up because it's still attached to them. It would have to have some form of way to like detach the cable once it fires, and it doesn't look like it has that. So if it's something meant to trip him up, you fire it, and then you have to stand there and hope he doesn't squish you.
So it's a
Well, leverage. I mean, you get a couple people, you wrap it around, pull it around a few other objects, like a few pulleys, and then all of a sudden the force isn't really being directed right at you.
What we've learned is that it's a foregone conclusion that Reiner is about to get his shit kicked in, and
Yes.
also that he is worthless. So
Pretty
this,
much.
So this is the like sayonara. This is the goodbye podcast for Reiner.
So you think. Just wait. He's going to get out of this. He's going to come back harder and stronger.
I would be so impressed if he actually managed to turn that situation around after.
Yeah,
I,
Reiner's fucked.
I do agree that the death flags are going up pretty hard, but
Yeah.
I feel bad
Aaron's-
because I will miss Reiner when he's gone.
Yeah,
Aaron's
that's
punches
the
are
case.
doing as much damage to Reiner as Monkey Trouble did.
we should just play him the
That's a good
song,
point.
play him like a goodbye song now, and just get over the fact that he's gone because man.
Well, that's a good point, Zach, because obviously Aaron has the advantage of having his little hardening fist gloves. As far as I know, Monkey Trouble did not have that. So that, I mean, if Monkey Trouble did the same thing to Reiner that Aaron did with his hardened fist, boy, that sure is saying something.
Well, we haven't actually seen Monkey Trouble actually fight, and we haven't actually seen him.
No, but we've
actually
seen the result of
punch something.
Reiner's face being gone, which is basically what Aaron's doing right here.
Point being is that Monkey Trouble has powers we don't even know about yet.
Maybe,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
When we get to that point, when Aaron actually fights Monkey Trouble, then it'll be somewhat more, comparable.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think about?
If Aaron ever even fights Monkey Trouble, who knows? It might be just be a team effort.
Oh, of course he's going to. This is the cliche thing. The main
Yeah, that would
character
be-
is going to fight the big bad at some point, right?
Well, I'll give
What-
Isayama credit and assume he's going to avoid that somehow.
I
Maybe
mean,
for now, eventually we have to go there.
Levi's supposed to fight Monkey Trouble. At least that's what Erwin wants him to do. And I don't know if that fight will happen or if someone, probably Monkey Trouble has more tricks up his sleeve, and that's going to result in
Levi's
the plan
probably.
being altered. So I don't know if Levi would even fight Monkey Trouble, and if he does,
So, yeah, so
I'm
let's
pretty
go there.
sure.
Let's go
I'm
to
pretty,
the.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that would end in Levi not being alive. I don't know.
Let's go
I
to
don't
that.
Levi
scenario now.
is squishy.
Okay, does anybody think that Levi can beat Monkey Trouble?
No.
Nope.
Truth is, well, okay, I'm just saying, Levi's been already shown in this manga to just do absurd things. You know what I mean? Like, the whole point of him, he's supposed to be, faster and stronger than anybody else, and he does all these absurd feats. They're supposed to be unbelievable in the first place. So I wouldn't put it past Isayama to make Levi up to scratch for this, but
Reiner
At
knows
scratch?
what Levi's capable of, and
I
he
doubt
already
it.
said
No, up to
that
scratch.
he can't do it.
Man, to scratch would be impressive. If he somehow doesn't get killed, that would be impressive. That's
I think
how
Trouble
this fight
beats
should
ass.
go.
I hope it would. But what I'm saying is, don't discount Levi's exceptional bullshit that he gets written
Being
in.
alive would be a surprise because this isn't us. He should not survive a fight with Monkey Trouble. Really,
Survive?
I don't think he
I
can.
think he'd survive. Win? I don't know. That's a different story. But
I don't.
Look, Reiner knows exactly what Levi's capable of, and he flat out says Levi is fucked.
There's no chance he could beat our leader guy, right?
Yeah.
No,
He'll never be
there's
able to
no
match
way.
up to our lead warrior.
We have to avoid Levi actually having to go and fight Monkey Trouble. Is what we're gonna get to. We're gonna find some reason for him to not have to do it, so he doesn't die.
Unless they do an entire bait and switch, and although we think the Thunder Spears are used for Reiner, what if
actually
they're
used for
used
Levi.
for Levi, and then they shoot Levi, and he gets extra charged with the electricity, grows to the size of a house, and no, but if they
it's like that.
shoot Monkey Trouble,
He'll use the serum on himself. Pick up the.
oh my God, he still has the serum. That's so true.
He'll pick
But the
up the
serum
Thunder
turns him into a
Spears.
mindless titan.
Yeah, but I don't know, man.
Oh, that's an interesting point. What you brought up a second ago, Scotty. We've been assuming that the Thunder Spears, for lack of a better term, are meant for Reiner and not for Monkey Trouble. What if they're saving all their cool gadgets for the for our big bad over here?
What if they're meant for?
If they were not meant for Reiner, then they wouldn't be sending them at Reiner.
Oh, that's probably a good point too. Yeah.
Are they actually sending them at Reiner? Does it say that?
They
They're
sure look like
attached
they're
to
about to
Squad Levi and Squad Hanji, or whatever the other squad is.
That's
and
they were
right.
they're
protected
yeah,
by-
Squad Levi and Squad Hanji. They're the ones moving to the Armored Titan, and they're the ones equipped with the Thunder Spears.
And
Well,
because
maybe it's just acupuncture.
well, they were there. Those two squads are supposed to be protecting the horses. So the biggest threat to the horses right now is Reiner, and not the mindless Titan. So that it has to be for Reiner.
No,
Yeah,
the
I-
other three squads are the ones protecting the horses, and they don't have the Thunder Spears.
I thought it was Levi's squad and Hanji squad, wasn't it?
Hanji's squad and Levi's squad are moving to attack the Armored Titan. The other three squads are defending the horses.
Oh, right.
Page 15.
And they have no Thunder Spears, right?
Exactly.
Where are they called Thunder Spears, by the way? I know. I feel
Where
like
what
I've
now?
read it a bunch of times, but like, what page do they actually call
We
that?
should have produced more
15.
Thunder Spears
Okay,
and
thank
given
you.
them to everyone. What's up with the production quality? Let's go, guys.
I think Thunder Spears have a specific purpose to take down, specifically Reiner and his armor.
Yeah.
And giving them to everyone would just slow them down. Because they're probably not useful on just, you're not going to waste an entire Thunder Spear on just one mindless Titan.
It would be cool, though.
Well, it seems like they have a limited supply. It seems like if they had enough to give to everybody, they
we
probably
don't. Considering we don't even know what they actually do yet. Too.
this is a good point. This is all just baseless speculation.
They're probably made with a combination of 3DMG technology and Aaron's rock shit, which
Chemical
means
X.
it directly impacts Aaron's ability to live to produce them.
Well, I'm like 95% sure they got it combined with the 3D and the anti-personnel stuff that they got from Kenny and friends.
Maybe
Yeah,
that too.
yeah.
Because the whole point was that after they deposed the king and set up their new world order, they've been going back on all the technological regression. They've been kind of have a field day right now, picking up all this new technology and integrating it into their operations. And that's, I think, is the most recent example of something we've seen before that they've adapted or brought into their fold.
I'm thinking that the tips of the spears are Aaron's rock, because it's the hardest and sharpest thing.
So many.
That's an interesting, yeah, because like a diamond tip kind of thing. If it punches through Reiner's armor,
Yep,
that's interesting. You know what? I bet. I bet next chapter we're gonna get. I could bet money on this. Some ridiculous scene where somebody, either Mikasa or Levi, is like swinging in motion with their 3D MG from somewhere, and then like while they're moving, shoots like their weird thunder spear at like a moving target, Reiner or something, and it has like a pinpoint accuracy shot, which is unbelievable. You know, some absurd
absolutely.
thing like that I'm going to be pissed off about because it just doesn't make sense.
Too. I'm going to be right there with you.
And it's going to happen. And then they're going to be like, oh, it's okay because it's just Mikasa and Levi and they're superhuman or whatever. You know, it's
God.
Fuck it, whatever.
I'll be so mad.
Well, we've already shown that Isayama likes to have pinpoint accuracy, especially with Monkey Trouble and the rock throwing, hitting exactly the target from miles away. So, you know, I don't think when we keep that in mind, it's not that far of a stretch.
I can't remember who said it. I think it was I think Cootie Bob might have said it in the last podcast, that Isayama kept Levi out of a lot of the chapters with his injury, because the problems that they were facing at the time would have just been solved if Levi was able to fight.
Oh, yeah.
That's how OP he considers Levi. That he just solves any problem that doesn't involve.
Well, and we still haven't even addressed the Ackerman question. Who even knows what's going on with that? Is that like a subplot we're going to pick up again, or is that even irrelevant at this point?
Well,
I think it's done.
If Levi dies, that'll be a good indicator of whether or not we're going back to that. You know.
Yeah.
It'll become either Mikasa's story alone, or it's going to be the Mikasa and Levi thing if Levi survives.
Also, can we just go to the ridiculousness of how when Reiner gets to the top of the wall, he's like literally 2 feet away from Erwin.
I thought that was an awesome scene.
You know how
I was cracking up at that.
No, but regardless of what he can do, whether he wants to go for the horse or whether he wants to go to Aaron, he will take 5 seconds for him to smack him with his hand and kill him. Like, how is that not worth your time to take out the leader?
I was about to say, how many seconds does it take for a shifter to smash a human?
Well, 2 things. First of all, I think it's a really cool scene because it shows at least a bit of mutual respect, not necessarily liking, but respect between the two of them in the sense that they both respect each other's abilities. Now, Reiner could have easily, like you said, swatted him out of the way. Erwin probably would have moved at that point. But
God, that would have been hilarious.
He has one arm.
Well, the second point
Got on top of the wall somehow, Scotty.
is that it goes back to the whole mental illness issue with Reiner and the idea that, I don't know, I'm just kind of snowballing here. Maybe this doesn't have anything to do with it. But I feel like there was some kind of mutual respect between them in the sense that they both realized that the other was a large threat, both Erwin's commanding prowess and Reiner's physical ability.
I took it the other way. I looked at the body language, and I saw Erwin kind of giving him a cocky look, like, oh, what are you going to do about it? And Reiner's like, oh, you fuck, I'm going to go do this, you know? Seriously, though, it would have taken half a second for him to just make a fist and just smash that spot.
Well,
Can
it
Erwin
does
still
look
use
like
his 3D gear with
It
one
does
arm?
look like Reiner is like 3 or 4 body lengths away from Erwin. Certainly nowhere where it's just like a bam. He would have to actually run.
Well, the line too, he said was, what was it? Not giving me time to think about it, eh? If he's not giving you time to think about it, just act on it, run towards him, and kick him like a football.
I mean,
I know.
Erwin probably predicted that wouldn't be a thing that Reiner would do. Otherwise, he wouldn't stand there.
I'm sure Erwin would move before that happened.
Yeah.
What if Reiner climbed the wall 5 feet to the left and just came immediately on top of him? Yeah, I mean, he didn't move at all. I mean,
to be fair, it's not like Reiner's like silently climbing that wall. I'm sure he made quite a bit of noise.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm sure, regardless of the situation, Erwin would have been able to move out of the way.
No, Erwin
someone said on the subreddit, Reiner specifically climbed the wall in the position where there was no wall titan.
What was I going to say?
So he would have been climbing not 5 feet to the left, more like 50 meters.
Erwin was so focused on Monkey Trouble that he didn't pay attention to the giant titan climbing right below him to smash him. That would have been the best. That would have been the ultimate. Like,
Well, I thought it was
God.
I thought it was a cool little moment where they look at each other and they kind of have their little mental
it is
standoff.
a cool moment. There's nothing
And then he
wrong
says,
with that
"Okay, I'm
moment.
gonna go do my
It
thing."
is, yeah.
It's just more that we can take away from Reiner being dumb. At least try, man. Come on.
You're not giving him enough credit. He has his priorities in line.
Like, I could give Charlie Brown more credit than you in this scenario, because at least he tried to kick the football.
Oh my goodness.
Is that the worst one now? It might be. Is that the
I
worst
got
reference?
it, so it's not that bad.
I've learned from this last couple of chapters that I'm just like the most impatient motherfucker ever.
Oh, you're just learning that?
I'm so impatient.
I could have told you that 2 years ago.
Yeah. And people were saying it during the whole, oh, Mikasa's not that bad, bit during our podcast. But, man, I can't stand seeing someone like Reiner be so stupid. Like, for fuck's sake, man. Get your shit together.
I repeat, that's the impression I've always gotten from Reiner, just the bubbling idiot of the shifters.
Even though he's he's one of the top
I know
guys.
it's illogical, but it's still the impression I got.
God, come on. Consistency, let's go.
Consistency? I don't think so.
Not
And
here,
I don't know.
clearly.
But
So in other news, I do want to appreciate Aaron's mention of Annie in this chapter.
yeah, I knew you were gonna say something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool.
I liked it too.
Thanks for the shout out. That was good. Thanks for reminding me she's still not here.
She's still alive.
You poor Stiller.
Even though
Oh,
even though she's still better than Reiner and better than Berthold, she's still not here. Good thing we don't have to deal with that, man. That wouldn't be entertaining.
Think about
at
how
all.
much smoothly their plan would have gone off if she was there and like kept them from fucking up.
God, no, it wouldn't have been entertaining at all to have Annie here for this, man. What the fucking waste that would be. God, who could imagine doing something like that? Man. But like I wanted to make this point just because I thought it was cool that he mentioned, hey, I remember she's still there. Right. Okay. Thank you.
And it was kind of a big fuck you to Reiner. Oh, she was harder to fight than you.
Well, to be fair, he says as far as simple hand-to-hand combat, Annie was way tougher.
I like the
that means
idea.
there's other things that Reiner is better at.
I like the idea that Isayama's getting in on it too now that he's shit talking his own character. I mean, oh god. He killed Marco because Marco outlived his usefulness. With Reiner, he's just shit talking him to death.
Marco never had usefulness. Marco was simply a plot device.
He was a vehicle for Jean.
Yes, that's all he was. And that's all he was ever going to be.
Right.
It wasn't apparent at the time, but looking back, okay, that was
So
just
Reiner
bull
was a vehicle
start.
for monkey trouble.
Well, Reiner has his own fascinating issues with,
Oh,
is he a warrior, is he a soldier?
They're
His
fascinating.
sexuality.
They've
I
never-
think they're really fascinating. I'm curious how this is, and I don't think people are giving enough credit to that aspect of his personality at the moment and how detrimental that
Man,
is. to
I
his
would
process.
give him all the credit in the world if it actually came into play at all. If
We'll
it
see.
actually affected anything, it would be interesting. Right now, it has not affected a single damn thing.
Well, what do you
I think it's
expect?
like-
He's just going to suddenly switch sides in the middle of the battle? That's not how
Yeah.
multiple personality disorder works.
I don't know. Big.
It's more like the long con, I think. I think what's going to happen is the multiple personality thing was set up specifically for later, like much later in the story, when Reiner, if he survives this, he will have an epiphany where maybe he gets beaten up again by Monkey Trouble, or, he tries to go after Annie again, and then his ambitions are shot down by leadership. So then he thinks, maybe I'm on the wrong side, and then because of his multiple personality disorder, it kind of encourages him to side with the Survey Corps. Now, whether they'll accept him, whether that's even logical or not, whether that would be good or bad for them to take him in, clearly not good, but, we would get into all of that. But I feel like that's still what they were setting up for, regardless of what we think about it.
So
I could buy that. Yeah.
That makes me think this entire scenario is a catch-22 for cliche. Is this a scenario where the bad guys lose because they're the bad guys? Are people going to die here, or are we going to have this be a squash, like just a scratch, and leave everyone alive with the conflict just neutralized for no real good reason, because we want to actually continue with the character development for some of these guys, Like, are we going to have a situation where no one dies in this massive battle because we want to continue character development for these guys? Or are we going to actually follow the cliche and kill the bad guys because they're the bad guys?
Well, as
Which
we've
one do
seen
you do? Because there are
many
cons
times,
to both.
this
Kill
is
the
just
good guys.
one battle that isn't necessarily going to determine the outcome of the war, if that makes any sense, you know? So
it's on a scale where it could, if he wanted to.
Yeah. No, if you kill
depends.
Monkey Trouble and Reiner, that determines the outcome of the war.
okay, well, both of them are not dying this time. That's not going to happen. Maybe Reiner dies, but I still think that's unlikely.
You could reverse it too. If Erwin dies, or if Aaron dies, that's also end of the war.
Oh, like,
Well,
what happened to
yeah,
that for a
but-
twist?
Yeah, that would. The manga just ends right there.
Aaron dies.
Oh, man, I give
Humanity
him props.
fucks. Yeah, awesome.
Dude, I'd be down.
And honestly, now that I think about it, I think the reason we got the quadriplegic, whatever, that Titan, is because that also set up for if Reiner were to die, which it seems like they're setting up for that to go, you know, for events to happen that way. There are other enemies that we haven't seen yet that could take his place and come in as an opposing threat to the Serpent Core.
I don't know
We
about
still
that.
don't know anything about the villages.
See, I do
Yeah.
question that because Reiner called him the warrior leader. That implies to me that he's
No, he called him our strongest fighter.
Didn't he call him the strongest warrior or like the leader warrior or something like that?
It was
Yeah.
the original translation said our general.
Between the translations, I've gotten the implication that this is the top dog.
Here it says our lead warrior.
Where if you bring in other people, they're not going to be up to his level at that point.
No,
Why
I
bother?
didn't say it for Monkey Trouble to die. I said if Reiner were to die.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I feel like we should bring this up as well. Emer, anyone? Where's she at? She just hanging around still? She's just
That's true.
I don't know. She's out
Fucking-
there somewhere.
out of Dodge. I mean, that's another wild card. How's that going to come into play
She-
here?
She's chilling out with Annie.
She's sitting in a tree somewhere, just watching this and just laughing hysterically.
Just hanging out.
She's just watching this and being like, "Oh, better get the popcorn."
Ymir is most likely having a tea party with Annie right now.
It could be.
Could be, you never know.
Like she brought the crystal out from underground and she just took it out there to the open field and it's just having the blankets laid down and everything and they're just hanging out.
Bit
Anyway,
of a one-sided conversation, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah. Not, Annie was never much of a conversationalist to begin with. Okay,
You would know.
that hasn't changed much. So she might be a little worse than she's ever been, but it's not that far off from being the best she's ever been as well. It's a
Yeah.
knock on my own favorite character. You're welcome. I don't do that very often.
That implies that Annie has a character.
It's because that.
Is that a joke, or is he just...
It's something intentionally meant to piss Stiller off.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I'm not gonna bite. I'm gonna
Like most things I say.
The bait is looming.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take it. What else have we got for this chapter?
Oh, we got all sorts of stuff.
Okay, pick one.
Oh, yeah? Oh, do we? Because I'm all asked to talk about.
Ooh, about that.
So much for that, huh?
Oh, at least Armin mentioned Bert.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, no, he didn't.
Well, yeah, he mentioned.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He mentioned that we haven't found the Colossus Titan
Yeah,
yet.
Colossus is still hiding, so at least he's aware of that.
He
unlike
said
the
that
rest
to
of the scrubs.
remind people.
Fucking hate that translation.
He said that for people to not forget that that's there. That's out there somewhere as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if Yumiya's in the barrel next to Bert Holtz?
Oh, that'd be a plot twist. I don't know how, but
It's like
it would twist it somehow.
it's like Monkey Trouble stocking up on his ammunition of like barrels to throw. Do we have enough shifters to put in these barrels?
There's expendable.
That's the best.
God, when are we getting to the shifter village? This is driving me off the wall. We're
I know.
probably never gonna get there.
It's a good question. I don't know if we're ever gonna get there.
It's a red
Where's it
herring.
gonna-
There is no shifter village.
Yeah, we're gonna get to a panel like 5 chapters in, and then Monkey Troll's gonna be like, "I destroyed the village," and that'll be the end of that. It's like, oh shit, we never got to see it. Like it's all gone.
I'd be really mad at Monkey Trouble if he did that. Like,
Nah, it was.
come
a joke.
on, man. Like, they made you the general and you destroyed them for it. What are you trying to accomplish again?
No, man, Monkey Trouble has a plan.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be the ruler of the walls.
Dude, I'd be down with that.
By
Actually,
destroying them.
if that was the plan, if he wanted to become the tyrannical new leader of humanity and make humanity slaves to actual shifter titans, that'd be kind of crazy.
In a good way.
Yeah.
I don't see why they...
Well, that would
that's
bring
not a
him
possibility,
beyond
though,
the-
because otherwise they just would have come in and coup d'etat instead of breaking down the walls.
Yeah.
That would make him irredeemable, and that would fully remove any last vestige of the moral gray area, the theme that we have. Because the idea is that still, from their perspective, they're they're the good guys. I think that's still the idea. But if they did that, where it's like, we're going to enslave you and just dominate you, then okay, well, then it's just unequivocally evil. And at that point, there's no, I don't know, kind of off the oil of that.
That works for the kid shifters, but that doesn't work for Monkey Trouble. Monkey Trouble could totally have evil intentions. And the kids are just like, oh, well, we have to do what the elder says.
That's true. I mean, I like to think that Monkey Trouble's acting in him and his people's best interest. But obviously we don't know that yet because we don't know anything about it.
It makes him more interesting of a character if that's the case. Let's hope
so. I sure think it is. Because, just good versus evil is boring. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the catch-22, though. That's where we are right now.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's a lot of speculation on the table about different elements of the fight that we're in. But what are you guys thinking about outcomes? Like, where do we... I mean, if we took a straw poll here, where is humanity going to win or lose this fight?
Lose.
I think they'll overall lose, maybe, but no. You know what? I'm gonna go with win, just because I think that their entire goal, which is what everyone wants to see, all the entire audience, is to go in the basement, and that's their goal. So I think they will accomplish their goal, because if they don't, everyone will be pissed. Because the entire reason they came here to plug the wall and to get into the basement and see what's what with Grisha and what was he doing under there. And if we don't see any of that, then the mission was a failure and our time reading those chapters was a failure.
That doesn't have to be the case.
I agree with that.
Well, that doesn't have to be the case, though. Humanity could lose, and then the Monkey Trouble or Reiner or whoever could go down there and look, just for curiosity's sake.
Well, at that point, I'll tell you what I think. And this is
maybe post-mortem.
Along the same lines as what Scotty's saying. I think that in the next few chapters, before they leave Shiganshina, they will get whatever's in the basement, and that in and of itself will be a victory. As for this particular battle here, pertaining to the question that was posed, it can go either way. I think it's personally reasonable to assume that Reiner will lose, but humanity won't win. Like, for example, Monkey Trouble will win this battle, but Reiner will still be on the losing end regardless, and they won't leave Shiganshina without whatever's in the basement, which, like I said, in and of itself is going to be a victory. So,
yeah.
Take that as you will, but that's kind of how I see this going. At least that's kind of my prediction here.
Obviously, I think humanity's going to lose, but I am curious, though. I know we've already talked about Reiner a lot, but I'm curious just if he actually is going to survive this battle at all. Like, are we going to continue his character development? I don't know.
I think that's hard to say. I think he'll survive this because I think he has too much of a character left to develop.
If he survives this, is he ever going to be useful? Is he ever going to improve? Is he ever going to get better?
That's the catch-20. If Isayama wants to see him improve, then obviously he will survive. But if he feels as though he set, these plot development points, like the PTSD he had, or not, the split personality disorder he has, and all of these other, his questionable morals and his goal not aligning with Monkey Trouble, all of these plot points and plot developments that could, come to be in terms of Reiner and his character. If Isayama wants to pursue that, then he'll have him survive. But if not, if he thinks that's too much hassle, he's just gonna end up killing him. And honestly, at this point, I could see it going either way.
Him and Berthold also had a conflict with Ymir, so that plot was there too.
I really don't think that's much of one, though.
Well, I mean, that's something they could explore if he's.
It's conflict enough that she thought she was gonna be killed if they took her with them.
But I don't. Yeah.
And yet
I don't see that being developed, though. Like,
that's she was all about the self-sacrifice and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Still a lot left on the table, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So many things we still can't answer.
And also, this is I think this might be foreshadowing in a couple ways, but on page 24-23, when Reiner finally gets to the top of the wall, he says, "Our long journey is finally coming to an end." So I'm thinking, could that kind of be foreshadowing to his life coming to an end? I don't know.
Well, from his perspective, assuming they accomplish what they're trying to do and get Eren, that means their goal is done. They can go back home. So that would mean his long journey, starting from when he came to the walls, is now finally coming to a close.
Yeah, I know that was his intention, but I'm saying us as the reader, are we supposed to interpret that in multiple different ways?
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm sure there could be some double meanings to that.
Well, if Team Monkey Trouble wins, we could finally get answers about what their plan is for Eren. That would be nice.
Well, like I said, I don't know if he's going to die or not, but I think Reiner will lose.
So what do you want more? Do you want to see the Shifter Village and learn about their plans, or do you want to find out what's in the basement?
The Shifter Village. Oh my god, so much more. I actually don't even care what's in the basement at this point.
Yeah, the basement to me is retarded because
There we go.
you've got a door with an old-timey key, but somehow no one can access it.
Well,
No,
I think
they don't know where it is.
whatever's in the door, there's either another room that's locked or there's some kind of like box or something in there that's locked. Because I mean, obviously the flimsy door isn't going to keep everybody out. That's not really security. But
I don't think anyone's keeping anybody out of there. I think it's literally just the location of Aaron's. We've established this last podcast. You weren't here.
we went over this. They know where it's like. They know where it's at.
They know where it's at? I thought we established they
sorry,
didn't
yeah.
know.
You're right. I
Yeah.
apologize. Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't know where it is, so then there's no flimsy door. That point's irrelevant, Zach.
Either way, I'm pretty sure it's a room within the basement that's locked, not just the. Because I mean, I'm sure they would have. Aaron's collecting firewood. Where else would he put it besides the basement? What I mean is, I'm sure he's been in the basement before. But didn't Grisha say specifically, "I'll show you what's in that locked door in the basement" or something like that?
When I get back. Yeah.
I thought he just said in the basement. I don't know if he said in the locked door.
I'm like, well, let's check. It's like chapter 1, wasn't it?
Generally, the implication.
I'll go grab my manga.
The implication was it's downstairs.
We know that much. Thanks, Stiller, for that. For the basement's downstairs.
Just to clarify.
Oh, we got that mystery out of the way.
Yeah.
I thought it was above the second story. Here I am,
Yeah.
not understanding basements and shit.
Basement attics? How do
Those
magnets work?
goddamn quantum basements located on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, who even knows?
Grisha's a freaking smart designer. He's good at that, like, architecture, you know? He was an architectural engineer back from whatever hole he crawled out of.
Yeah, that's totally it.
So anyway, I'm glad that we have our priorities straight here. Shifter Village is more important than the basement.
To me, anyway, I find it far more compelling. I mean, I'm sure whatever in the basement is cool, and it's going to change the story, and it's going to be important, and the reveal will be nice because we're building up to it. But I'm
for the
so
plot,
much more
but
curious about where they came from.
It's important for the plot, but besides that, like it's the MacGuffin. Who cares?
Yeah.
To be honest, though, I wouldn't be surprised at all if what's in the basement led them to the Shifter Village. I think they might connect the two.
So Ryan was right the entire time? It's a Stargate?
Yes! Oh, yes! See? It's all coming together.
It's not a Stargate, it's just a tunnel straight to the village.
It's a map.
No.
It's a map to little directions to Monkey Trouble's
Well,
home.
I think
The village is actually in
Grisha.
space, and they'll use a teleporter to get there.
I think what Grisha was going to do when he was going to show Aaron what's in the basement, I think it's almost like, those crime shows where they have those frantic. They're trying to catch the killer, so they have all these wires connecting the different people and whatever, and the locations on the map, trying to figure out where everyone is and what everyone's doing.
Yeah.
I think Grisha's got that with the Shifter Village, and I think he knows.
Wait, you're calling Grisha a conspiracy theorist?
No, not a conspiracy theorist, because he knows he's been there. And he lived there for a point, or something along those lines.
Oh, yeah.
And if he knows exactly where it is, why the hell does he need like a complicated method using strings to locate it?
No, because that was, number one, that was an example. It was just to illustrate the point. Number two, it's not only the location, it's also information regarding the people and the structure, because he clearly, he left, so he doesn't agree with them, I would assume. He's not on a mission because he's curing people in the wall, which goes against the Shifter's intentions. So I'm assuming that he has a pure heart and didn't want to go with killing the people in the wall. So he came here to try and help them. And that's why he's putting, like, the strings, like I just said, like, trying to, like, connect the people in charge. And maybe he was going to mount an offensive to try and take out the village, not himself, but with the help of people inside the walls.
Well, I think it's worth mentioning, and correct me if I'm misremembering this, but didn't he not remember where he was when Keith found him outside the walls?
Well, he said he didn't know.
Oh, well, obviously he could be lying, but he played that off pretty well if that's the case.
But think about if he did know, what would he say? Like, clearly he couldn't say, "Oh, I'm from a Shifter village that's outside these walls," because
because obviously he knew enough to set up his plans anyway.
Yeah. Like, what was he working on in the basement that was secretive if he didn't have his memory? So,
How did he know he's a shifter if he didn't have his memory?
But
How did he get to the coordinate if he didn't have his memory?
To just interject, I went back to chapter 1, and it says, at least according to this translation, when I get back, ... there's that room in the basement which I've always kept secret.
There you go.
I'll show it to you. So yeah, it seems like there's a room.
Okay, gotcha.
So they aren't that stupid.
So he's got a pretty big basement.
Must be pretty cozy.
Was a really small house, but the basement, that's what really opens up.
Oh yeah,
Got a nice couch in there, a nice big screen TV.
It's a bunker, more or less.
1,200 square feet, real nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I like the idea that Grisha is actually like the 70s David Banner Hulk, going from place to place.
Yeah.
He's a wanderer who goes around fixing, like, solving problems and causing other problems. And then
A lone wanderer in the wasteland.
Yeah, that's a very cool idea.
Right, Grisha's a rebel.
I wanted to throw that in that reference out there. 70s
Oh, yeah.
David Banner.
You know what? I'm sad, and I know I'm sure we'll get to see this in a flashback because I just know what's going to happen. But I'm sad that we never got to see Grisha interact with Monkey Trouble.
Yeah.
Flashback time.
Let's see them interacting in a flashback because again, we all know.
Okay, let's time travel here forward. Welcome to the Cast on Titan chapter 110. This chapter, we get to look at the flashback where Grisha talks about all the big mysteries with Monkey Trouble that we previously couldn't figure out.
Grisha and Monkey Trouble
Who is not, in fact, Grisha's brother or Erwin's.
That would be really funny, but it's not. But he's not because he's Grisha's brother or uncle or some relative of Aaron's. I'm sure of it.
Some relative.
Yeah, he's related to Aaron. I bet money on it, and I bet Emer is too, or to some degree associated with him.
Grisha, my glasses were always cooler than yours.
Pretty much. Who's the big brother and who's the little brother?
Monkey Trouble is the big brother. No
So he used to
doubt.
beat the shit out of Grisha growing
No
up.
doubt about it. Yes. That's how Monkey Trouble strayed towards evil. Clearly.
I don't know.
You ready for the twist of the century? Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Never mind. I'm
Go
gonna
for
not
it.
even. No. I won't say that because it doesn't make sense. Because I forgot that Aaron was born. Yeah, I was gonna say, what if Aaron is Monkey Trouble's son, and Grisha just pretended? But then I realized he wasn't born until Grisha.
No, that's impossible.
So you think?
Manga Star Wars. Okay, all right.
Exactly.
No gray, just good and bad.
Yep. Grisha was Uncle Ben. Monkey Trouble's Darth Vader. It's all coming together.
Does that mean that Carla's into bestiality?
Well, I mean, hey,
I don't know. Monkey Trouble's pretty ripped.
Aunt May got into some weird shit. All right.
Aunt May. What did we cross into?
I don't know if you're familiar with Aunt May, but she was into some weird shit. Okay. Anyway, man, how the fuck did we segue out of that?
I don't know.
We got there because there's nothing else to talk about in the chapter.
It's true. There is nothing else to talk about.
Actually, I've been
questions.
holding on to something for a while.
Go ahead.
Reiner's fingers.
What about them?
Page
He's got those cool little
5-6. He like hardens. Is that something new or?
Oh, he's got little claws on his fingers.
Yeah,
Has that always
you
been
could
there?
see him grow them. My question is this hardening new for him? Because he had the bandage on
he already has massive armor scales, which I'm pretty sure are made of the same stuff.
Yes, but the ability to manipulate the armor at will.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think
Well, the only reason he did that is so he could climb the wall, and I don't think he's had to climb the wall before this point. So I just don't think there's a reason.
Who does that remind you of? They hardened their fingers. They put little protection on their fingers so they could climb a wall. Man, that seems familiar. I don't know what that could be referring to. Man, that just seems like so familiar.
I think some kitchen character did that.
We get it.
Oh yes, yeah. Some nobody did that a while back. Yeah. Clearly.
Yeah.
But anyways,
the pot in the kitchen.
She did it before it was cool.
She did. She really did. She did everything before it was cool. Nobody could live up to that precedent she set.
OG.
The bar is so high.
Anyways, Reiner
Anyways, you did it.
Shut up.
Anyways.
Motherfucker, I've had enough of shitty puns in the past few weeks, okay?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay. Reiner weighs. He had that bandage on his human form's arm, and people were speculating if that meant he'd gotten a power-up. I'm just wondering if this might be it.
I don't think so. That would be a shitty-ass power to climb walls better. I don't
When
think
did he
that
have
could
a
be
bandage
used
on his
in
arm?
combat.
Last chapter.
Last chapter? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
That's silly. Why would he need a bandage if he can heal himself? Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, what a
He
goofball.
wanted to look cool. If you have
Yep.
the bandage like blowing in the wind, if it has that little extra, if you tie it right, it looks cool. It's like a Ryu pose. All right, so because we're out of shit to talk about, and we can't, I'm sure we could make up more nonsense, but we should.
Oh, we definitely can.
We should move into the questions submitted by you guys for this chapter. We're gonna answer them, and that'll be it for this podcast, and we'll be done. So the first question is, if you were in Erwin's position, what would you do? What would you have Levi do rather than going to certain death?
Damn.
Well, Levi's arguably your greatest asset, other than Aaron.
So is it possible that we can have Levi kill the cage titans without getting into trouble himself?
No.
On his
I don't
own?
think that's...
That would be the best possible thing he could do.
They're not around many objects. I don't think he could do that, like, without any trouble.
Unless he, like, swung off of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
If you watch the Tribute game, people do that all the time.
oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
We all know that's canon.
That's so,
I tried getting back into the Tribute game the other day. It was really hard.
it's tough. It's a tough game.
I say, Levi, go take out that weird four-legged guy, because he's creeping me out.
Yeah, just because I don't like him, take him
and
out.
then-
As soon as
Yeah.
he swings in there, though, he'll get swatted like a fly by Monkey
Well,
Trouble.
I don't know. Those barrels are looking sketchy as hell. Monkey Trouble's busy throwing rocks. He ain't got time for
He's
that.
not throwing anything yet.
Wasn't he chucking rocks?
Oh, not yet.
He was.
He's
but...
done. He's sitting on the ground right now, like Indian style, just sitting there waiting.
Well, we don't know he's doing that. We haven't seen him other than just the little chibi drawings.
I assume that's actually what's happening.
That's what Aaron assumes he'll be doing when he executes his plan.
Yeah, it's just sitting there twiddling his thumbs.
I don't know why he'd assume he's just sitting there hanging out.
Just
What-
asleep, laying down face front, just...
This siege plan, it's going great
Yeah.
so far. Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what. Erwin was apparently making a pretty big deal about the fact that the horses must be protected at all costs, right?
They're important, very important.
So if Levi, again, apart from Aaron, is your greatest asset, and your highest priority is protecting the horses, would it not make sense to just say, Levi, guard the horses?
Yeah,
do that.
That's what he's doing.
we could trade Levi.
Oh, that's
for
right. Yeah, so of course, then there you go.
Let's trade Levi for that entire squad. Let's get that entire squad back here. Levi can handle that himself.
Yeah, he's
No,
fine.
but
He's got plot armor.
my answer is if Erwin had just a shred of respect, or just like if he believed in the other three squads to take care of the horses, dude, if he simply sent Levi to go to Reiner, it'd be like, dude, Aaron, just do something else, man. Go to the basement, because Levi can take Reiner with like his hands tied behind his back. Just go to the basement, do what you gotta do. There's a 0% chance Levi's gonna die to Reiner. He will take him out blindfolded.
Yeah, even I would have to agree with that.
Yeah.
But, he couldn't really, because there's still no way for Levi to get to the nape.
No.
He would Levi in
well,
the
he
story
couldn't get to Annie either, and he still fucked her up.
Well, here's the thing. Levi in the story is Kenshiro. If he gets mad enough, he can do anything. He's also like the Hulk. If you leave him with Reiner long enough, he'll find a way.
Yeah, he has that bullshit rage
because-
power where he can just
because
kind of
he's
flip it
Levi.
into extra gear.
Yeah. Reiner's the only one I'm okay with that for, though. Because Reiner's
I'd like to
shit,
see
as we've
Reiner-
established.
Jump off the wall and just like harden himself into a full rock and then just like smash.
He becomes the actor The Rock, and then
You know, I'd like to see him do that and then have Monkey Trouble and Bert just kind of launch him.
Yeah.
yeah.
Reiner Polt.
Oh, this is better. So okay, you're gonna love this. So Monkey Trouble, they're hanging out here. They're doing their own thing. Bert and Reiner are both in their little human forms, not Titans. Monkey Trouble picks him up. He throws him, and then midair, Bert turns into a Titan, and then throws Reiner. And then he turns into a Titan.
That would require
And
Reiner to not have been completely destroyed by the act of explosive creation around Bert.
He's a tough
Right.
guy. He can heal. That's what his whole thing.
No, we've seen what happens when you are in close proximity to a shifter. Annie in Stohes.
Doesn't matter because
Those were like not even kitchen characters. Those were like the most red shirt, like average dudes just walking around.
Yeah, but my point is that you can't just survive close proximity
Reiner can.
to shifter.
Totally can, yeah.
yeah,
In
but
human form?
Yeah, Jane Doe
Yeah.
from Stohas might get killed by that, but Reiner, he'd be fine.
Remember, Reiner can like constantly heal himself. I think he'll be. But either way, the point is that he's going to be thrown anyway while he's in the air. So it's whatever. It's fun.
We had that same conversation last week or last
I think
month.
we did.
We
Throwing
did.
somebody
Yeah,
in the
where we
yeah.
continuously throw Luke.
The exact same
because
joke
I'm
came
waiting
up,
for
and
it to
was still
happen.
good.
That's the end game here.
It was
That's
good
Monkey Trouble's
last
real plan.
month, and it's still good now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And also, it would be a problem if you transformed and someone's right next to you because lightning shoots down. So, like, wouldn't you get shocked? I don't know how that works. But...
Isn't that just a visual thing?
No, I don't know,
someone
man.
say
Well, if you're
that?
not
It seems
grounded, there's
pretty
no
legit.
problem.
Well, they've started making it pretty obvious in the last chapters, at least. So
Yeah, that's the most unquestioned thing so far, I think.
yeah, it may have been anime only at one point, but it's certainly in the manga now.
Yeah, it's very questionable. But any other jokes we can remember from last month we can reuse?
Something about coffee.
Coffee.
Yes,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
how
about
could-
those coffee cans.
How could we forget coffee being the catalyst, like the
Yeah.
most important thing to this
I think
entire scenario?
we really have not given enough credit this chapter to how important that coffee was.
Oh God, so important.
Absolutely.
Because
That's
Reiner's fueled by coffee, he's
Yeah.
able to fight Eren now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why he could grow his fingers out, because he was energized by the coffee. It gave him
Coffee
that
just went straight in there. Yeah,
or as our underage friend Armin likes to call it, the weird black sludge or whatever the hell.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For the problem is that Eren
good.
also has coffee, so
Uncultured swine.
Eren having coffee versus Reiner.
Hey, that's my insult. Watch it, Ryan.
When did Eren have coffee? Don't start with me, buddy.
Well, hey, that's why Eren's gonna win, is because they both had coffee.
Wait, when did Eren have coffee?
Didn't everyone have coffee?
What?
No.
What the
Reiner-
fuck are we talking about
Wait,
here?
were you not even paying attention last chapter? No, 'cause remember, Reiner and Bird had coffee and Monkey Trouble, and they left their things behind, and everyone's like, oh, what the fuck is this shit? It's black sludge? Never seen this before. And they're all mystified by it.
So you stuck to it a little more strict than I did. I just played that fast and loose for the sake of the joke.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Dude, we are hardcore
This serious
literalists when it
business, I don't
comes to
think you
these
understand the
chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
I
kind of
guess so.
forgot that part of it as well, so that played into
Yeah.
it.
Okay, it's all good.
Oh, just like the last arc, you forget this one too, huh?
Yeah, well, the last one was forgotten for a reason. This one hasn't.
What was the
gotten
story
that
about
yet.
again?
Hopefully, this arc doesn't get to that point, because man, if we had two of those back to back, man, that would be fucking awful. Can you imagine? That would just be the worst. Having that mind wipe thing followed up by something equally as bad in this arc, man.
Aliens, Monkey Trouble's an alien.
Who couldn't handle it? Isn't it a dick move of Erwin to ask Levi to go on a suicide mission? After Levi was so worried for him just a few chapters ago. It's as if Erwin said, don't worry about my safety. I'm putting my life on the line. That being said, go kill that giant monkey while I stand here watching from a safe distance.
No.
No, I
don't think
disagree.
so.
Because
Yeah,
that kind of
because-
throws out the entire reality of warfare and chain of command. The point is that Erwin's is assumed to be having to make those decisions. I mean, you're gonna have to make hard decisions that are gonna knowingly sacrifice people, in the particular situation they're in. So I don't think it's unreasonable for him to ask Levi to do something like this. In fact, it's not even asking; it's an order.
I feel like
A, Levi is the best. B, they obviously do think they can kill Monkey Trouble. And C, I mean, what do you want to do? Have Erwin go kill him instead? Yeah, good luck, one arm.
I mean, there's no real thing as a dick move when it comes to warfare like this.
I
This
feel
is
yeah.
extraneous circumstances in every term, definition of the term.
the Survey Corps understands as a unit that this is a suicide mission for everyone.
Yeah, they signed up expecting to die at some point.
It's not just those two.
Yeah.
Everyone is
They
on
signed
a
up to the
suicide
Survey
mission.
Corps expecting to die.
Every single person in the Survey Corps right now understands that they are on a suicide mission. All of them could die. So there is no, I'm safe, you go do the thing. It's, we're all
if the mission
potentially
fails, they all
fucked.
die anyway. So it's the whole point's moot.
Yeah, it's not even just them either. It's humanity at risk too.
Yeah.
So is Erwin being a dick to humanity?
No, I don't think so at all. No.
It's an interesting point, but no, I don't think he's being a dick. I think
Because
he's just doing his job.
Yeah. In Erwin's mind, we saw in the previous
That's what you get
chapter
paid
when
for.
they were going through the flashbacks or the matchups. It was Eren versus Reiner, and it was Erwin versus Monkey Trouble. So Erwin, his primary objective is probably to take out Monkey Trouble because he's the chain of command. So, he clearly wants to take out the head honcho. So the only way to do that is to send your best soldier to go after him. So it's pretty much not only is it not a dick move, it's pretty much the only move he could play in order to take out their chain of command, aka Monkey Trouble.
Exactly. Monkey Trouble's an unknown threat. So what do? You don't send the weak link. You send the best thing you've got just in case.
Strategy is difficult.
Well, okay. If Erwin was really, I'll tell you what. I'll give you this. If Erwin was really heartless and like really was kind of a shitty leader, what he'd do is send some scrub out there to test Monkey Trouble's strength. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Throw a few scrubs out there to kind of test the waters a bit.
Hey, Connie.
Marlo.
Yeah, fucking.
Yeah.
Hey,
Then
Arvin,
once they get an idea,
Arvin,
then you
go
send in
out
your
there.
best piece. Once you know what you're facing, you know what I mean?
Hey, Connie.
But he's not that much of a
Connie,
dick.
go get your revenge.
Dude, and then Connie actually gets his revenge and kills him.
Yeah. Hanji, take notes on this. We want to see what happens.
Yeah, study this. Such a lust for revenge.
But no, Erwin's not that.
Mobley,
that
you
much
got
of
the
a douchebag.
Yeah,
popcorn.
okay, so good. That was good job there. Next question is, would you have still gotten into the series if everything was the same except the Titans had sexual organs?
Oh my god.
I'll tell you what. The answer is no, and the reason is because if it was, it probably wouldn't have been. I probably wouldn't have seen it on Netflix, and if I never saw it on Netflix,
Yeah.
I probably never would have gotten into the series and started reading the manga. Now,
Good point.
assuming that all that aside, I already knew about it, and my decision was based on whether or not they had sexual organs, I don't think it would bother me that much, honestly.
The
But
only
remember, Ryan, there are only male Titans, so this would literally just be a sausage fest.
And, you know, that's okay, because anybody over the age of 18, I think, is mature enough to be all right with that.
Considering that the shifters that we saw were Bertold and Reiner when they were minors, those organs would technically be on children.
Child pornography.
Would not be viewable.
Well,
so I don't
whatever.
know. This
Either
entire
way,
point
I mean,
comes-
it's Japan anyways. None of
Yeah.
it would be viewable.
it wasn't a diss on you, Zach, but I've seen too many dicks in my day to really get fazed by that at this point.
That tells
Well-
me way too much about your nightlife.
Well, you know how many locker rooms... You know what I mean. You can't go in a locker room without seeing that shit.
You remember the joke you made last podcast? You said, penis inspection day.
It's just like penis inspection day. Do you guys not remember that?
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
that silence.
What the
was
fuck did I miss?
That
This
was-
is why I asked at the beginning of the
glorious.
episode if you listened to the last episode.
It was good.
You
it was
missed,
really.
you missed the fun stuff. We have fun.
You know what?
It
If
was
I
like
have 4 hours
absurdly
to
long.
spare, I will attempt to sit down and listen to it.
When you're
you
not
gotta
here,
work out.
when you're
Yeah.
not here is when the fun happens. Clearly.
Wow. Well, that was. Yeah, that was
Asshole.
blunt. Huh?
Okay. What was I gonna say? I didn't answer. So, would I have still gotten it? Okay. So this is bad for the show. This is a degradation to the story, most likely. I assume the story is not the same. But I don't know if the story can be the same because
Of course it can be the same.
that changes their physiology, and that could.
And-
No, you're thinking
Let's
way
just
too
say
much
it's
into
just
it.
for...
Oh my god, Titans have 3 years. The story will never be the same again.
3 years.
Okay,
That
maybe
was-
I'm
I'm
reading...
saying it's just changed physiology,
All
changes
right,
everything.
I guess I have to
It's
read
hard.
something. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but is this like functional sexual organs or just you know what I mean, just display?
Well, that's the point. Is why is it there at all? That would actively damage the. Not
I feel
necessarily
like
the story.
I feel like
maybe
the
just-
question was phrased
maybe
that if
that's a-
everything was the same except for literally they just had decorative genitalia,
That's a world
would
building.
you still be into it?
That's a world building thing, I think.
Yeah,
No, I wouldn't be.
a world building thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's file that under world building.
Well, you have categories, right? What do you file that under? Enemy types?
Tightening genitalia. Oh, well, that under world building. Yeah.
Let me remind you that Titan nipples were a plot point in the live-action movie.
Were they really?
Please don't remind me of that.
Remind me of the thing I
John
didn't
was
know
acting like a
about.
smartass, so Aaron asked him, "Hey, hey, John, do Titans have nipples?" And then John couldn't answer.
I have
know,
nipples.
you
Can you milk
can't-
me?
Wow.
So your answer was no.
Yeah, my answer was no.
My answer is I would have still enjoyed it, but I never would have found it because giant naked people with genitalia crosses the line of what's allowed to be shown at my school anime club.
I know that we're already like I know Ryan
Yeah.
mentioned it before. We're already like, man, I don't talk about this with anybody. This is the most private shit ever. But
Yeah.
if this
What,
happens,
Attack on Titan? Or
This thin veil of anonymity.
yeah, this us being anonymous people here, like adding that really, really makes it tougher. Like, Zach, I don't know if you and me are moderators if this happens. Because I don't know if I even come to the subreddit at all if this happens. Because I'm, like, disgusted by this, right?
Yeah, you're right. I think that porn and crap has a time and place. So I don't know if I would. Yeah.
Well, it's not porn. I mean, that's the thing. It's
You know what I mean.
Is it, though?
No, it's not, though. Because porn
Isn't it, though?
I mean,
like,
Ryan, imagine just for 1 second. You know that scene in the forest where Aaron gets on top of Annie and he's yelling at her?
At the very least, it's soft.
Imagine that with dicks.
At the very least, it would be soft.
I feel uncomfortable enough watching that scene around other people.
In Saving Sarah Marshall at the end where he has his cock out?
No.
That's not porn.
I never saw that movie.
It was pretty funny. But what I'm saying is this hypersensitivity to nudity and genitalia.
Well, I mean, I would probably
still... any showing of nudity is automatically classified as porn. It's ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, that's fine and all, but when you have scenes where the main character is literally getting on top of the bad guy, and then they're both naked with genitalia, that isn't really... You can't say that's not sexual.
What about Greco-Roman wrestling? Because they do the exact same thing.
What are we getting into?
Yeah!
What is this? How on
my
earth
point
do we
is
get a Greco?
that it's only a sexual thing if you make it that. If you want to view it that way.
This is the
because
real
You know what?
like
I pasted this in chat. Go ahead, take a look. Imagine a dick, and tell me that does not look like sex.
No, in the context of the scene where they were literally wrestling themselves to death, I don't think that would matter.
I don't even want
to... Look, here's the thing. I feel uncomfortable enough rewatching those scenes at school anyways. If you add dicks to that equation, that is 100% way too far.
For a school setting, yeah.
This is the best.
Yeah, we're not in middle school over here. We're in, know, big adult land. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, it'd probably get itself a nice 18+ rating or whatever the hell the rating is. But
a nice 18+.
It wouldn't make the story any less. It wouldn't detract anything from it, I don't think.
No, it wouldn't change the story. That's right.
Did you say
it would make it much less of a, hey, do you watch Attack on Titan? Oh, yeah, I love that show.
I think it would absolutely detract from the story. I don't see how you couldn't say otherwise. How could you say otherwise? Clearly... If there were floppy dicks all around when they would run and charge each other, that would clearly detract from the action. Clearly.
Oh god, it totally fucks with Pixis now that I think about it. I wouldn't be mind being eaten by a nice lady titan.
Dot.
This is the best conversation. Please continue. This is the best.
I think we've answered this question 8 times over. Honestly.
I think that if you're mature about it, nudity in any kind of art medium like this, whether it's television or film or comic books or whatever, unless it's explicitly sexual in nature, I don't think it should be a problem.
Like the scenes I pointed out.
How was this clip?
But Zach, I don't think you understand what explicit sexuality means.
Go.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, but I'm saying, look at that and tell me it doesn't look like that.
No, but the implication, he's not on top of her for sexual purposes.
It's the implication.
True, but still.
She can say no, but she won't because of the implication.
Oh my God, what is happening?
Oh my god, you did not just take it there.
Where are we going with this?
This is the best.
Does nobody else watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Cast on Titan does not condone rape.
So
in
nobody
any way,
got
shape,
that reference then.
No, Reiner, I got that. Are you talking about when he's going on the boat and he's like, they won't say no?
Yes.
Yeah.
But she won't because of the implication. No, I think that's the...
oh my god, look that up after this. That's the best thing ever.
Wow. So, I mean, the point for me is just that I would still watch it, but I would not be as... The question was, I would not have gotten into it as much, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
There we go. Though, that's still, best conversation. Best. Good job. Killed it. Do you think Reiner will be captured, setting off a series of events that leads to Annie's rescue, or do you think that the sun will get or do you just think that Sun will get shanked?
Sun? Who is Sun?
Reiner. I think they're trying to go ghetto.
That Sun, Reiner, I guess.
I think it is highly likely that he gets captured, which I think is a big part of the reason they have their little fancy harpoons, whale guns, or whatever. I don't know if it'll lead to Annie's rescue, but
You know, we
it could
didn't
set off a chain of events that leads to some fun shit down the road.
we didn't talk about that possibility. Why would the Survey Corps want to capture Reiner?
Interrogate him.
Info.
Information.
Okay.
That doesn't suit Stiller. He's like, I don't know about that.
I don't like that answer, but okay. You know.
Do to him what the military police wanted to
I
do
mean,
to Aaron.
okay, worst case, even if they don't interrogate him, at least, neutralize the threat. I mean, he won't be a threat if you got him captured. Whereas right now, he's
True.
roaming around just doing his own thing.
Yeah. Okay. I guess.
Look at it this way: they wanted Annie so that they could interrogate or get biological
They
information,
did
but
wanna
they couldn't
interrogate her.
because she's in
Pokemon,
Iraq.
trying to
So
catch them all.
I wonder if they is Reiner going to crystallize too?
Oh, that'd be pretty funny. They just make a collection. Unbox.
Look at our shifter
this
figurines.
is where I keep my hunting trophies.
Yep.
Yeah,
Unbox.
Reiner, we
mint
got an
shifters.
Annie.
Look at our shifter figurines.
You get a fat price for that.
I'd sell that shit on eBay.
Oh my god.
Cena Bay.
Whatever the Wall Cena equivalent of eBay is, I guess.
Yeah, I guess interrogation works. I kind of just I'd rather this be like a Mortal Kombat style, fight to the death type thing. But
Maybe they'll let
as
Anji,
they've implied, this is a thing where people are going to die. I would be a little disappointed by such a neutral stance. This is a Paragon.
Didn't you just say we were going for morally gray? And you're like, neutral? Fuck that shit. Go full and kill him.
Go Renegade, yeah, absolutely. Renegades have powerful character development.
When it comes to Reiner, you're like, no, just kill him. You're like, don't even go for
Here's
any
what's gonna
nuance
happen.
here.
We're gonna be here a month from now. Reiner's gonna be dead, and Stiller's gonna be bitching about how it didn't follow Aaron's character.
No, I'm gonna be totally fine with that if Reiner dies, no matter what. I don't care who kills him.
Poor Reiner. He always gets the short end of his dick. Everybody's talking shit about him.
Maybe
He's
if
a
he
cool
wasn't,
dude.
maybe if he wasn't useless, we wouldn't talk so much shit about him.
I don't know. He did a pretty good job at knocking that wall down at the beginning.
You say that every time, and it's always the same thing. There's never anything different about that.
Yeah.
It's like the
Sounds
fourth
just like your
time.
arguments for Annie.
That's like the fourth time you've said that.
What else did he do that was cool?
He picked up a can.
Oh, yeah. He called Emer out. That was
No,
kind of
he-
cool.
Remember that one time he threw the Titans off his back to try and stop the other people on the horses?
That was
pretty
If
cool.
I replay the audio from last month, a plan that didn't work. Okay, so the cool thing that he actually did, there is one that I could think of, and that's during
Saving Private Connie.
Castle Utgard, where he was at the door with the Titans trying to come up the stairs. He
That was badass.
he kept them at bay, sort of.
Saving Private Connie.
Didn't
like
he
I
get
said.
hurt then too? Didn't he
Yes, the Titan bit his arm, and he kept it on his arm and threw it out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's hardcore.
That was cool.
And
Yeah.
then
He
hurriedly
did that.
covered the steam.
He did that cool thing. I'll give him that. Okay, are we happy now? I gave him that.
Yeah.
Alright, you got it.
Plus, I like his dynamic, his whole personality thing going on.
You keep saying that.
Believe
too,
me,
but
Ryan,
that-
you won't like it when you have it in real life.
Well, I don't plan on having it in real life.
You know-
I don't say I think it's cool for him. I think it's a cool story development.
It's really, I'm jealous of his ability.
Oh boy, I
to
wish
have
I had
split
mental
personality.
illness. Yeah.
Wish I was
No.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Man, that'd be great.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean that is cool, but god damn it, I wish they'd use it. I wish they'd make it a thing, make it important. This
They
is the
will.
same- this is the same problem Mikasa has for a lot.
It'll
of different
it'll
things.
definitely come up again. I'm sure of it.
It will.
Reiner, you got to step up your game, man.
Yeah, he's got this. He's got this.
Okay. Next question. If Monkey Trouble has the power to transform normal people into Titans, why didn't he just transform the Survey Corps into Titans and then simply take Aaron?
Great question.
Yeah.
Really.
Man.
I mean, I don't think it's quite that simple.
Woo! That'd be the best.
It'd be pretty funny.
Oh, that'd be the best.
It is probably from a water supply, I would say.
No, that is a very
It's-
pointed question. Well, the problem with the water supply is that assumes that everybody drank water at the same time. Either one of two things. Either it had a delayed effect and it all happened at once, or else they all would have had to drink water at the same time. Because as soon as somebody drank water and they transformed to a Titan, I'm pretty sure the other people would notice and
Well,
Get out
no,
of Dodge
not if
or
it's
they're
like something in the water that then enables him to trigger it.
oh, I see. I guess we're well into speculation territory anyway at this point.
I'm
but-
going to pretend that this is actually the plan and that he's just not ready to do it yet. Because this is like an RPG scenario. He wants Reiner and Berthold to build up experience so that when they, get experience, they unlock new abilities. And after he gets the abilities he wants for Reiner Berthold, he'll turn the Servicor into Titans, so that the next time they run into a conflict, Reiner will have the super new ability he can use.
That's that's the local leader perk, right?
Yeah, the local leader perk. Exactly. That way, Reiner can create supply lines.
No, please. All right, guys. I figured it out, though. I figured out how he turns them into it, and I can't believe we didn't figure this out.
I swear to God, if you say Connie,
it was, dude, the coffee. He's using the coffee,
God, how did I
and he poisoned it, and now they're all gonna turn into Titans. That's how it's gonna go.
Drinking coffee makes you immune to the transformation.
And it was those three that drink the
Genius.
coffee, right?
Yep.
Genius.
But back to the question. That is a really good question, because if it is airborne, like we kind of people thought it was, that means
Airborne?
the Titans transform. However, Monkey Trouble turns
Airborne.
Titans. Airborne, yes.
Airborne.
He said horn.
No, he
Oh,
didn't.
yeah.
He said-
If-
I thought he said airborne.
If he uses
matter. We got the intent.
Anyway, that leaves if it is airborne, that leaves two options. Option A is he doesn't have any more. He used it all, which means he can't turn people into Titans, which is why he hasn't used it. Option B is that he has to keep them all in a relatively enclosed space, which is why he hasn't used it on these guys. And I guess the third option is that that just isn't the case. Or option 4, he has it and he just doesn't want to use it now. I don't know. Kind of just running out of ideas here, but it's definitely an interesting thought, because I think that, gosh, that was a good question, because that really turns everything upside down about how Monkey Trouble turned everybody into Titans in the first place, and why he wouldn't continue to do that unless he had a limited supply, or could only do it so many times in things like that.
The cooldown timer is outrageous.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It takes like 50 chapters for that thing to cool down. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a good skill.
Just like Bert's Titan shifting.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think it's like something in the water, and then once it's in that person's system, he can do it at will.
It's a good song.
That's interesting. No, yeah, that is an interesting point. I could be curious if it works out like that.
Because I think what he did here is he took the Titans that were around Shiganshina, turned them into humans, knocked them out or some shit, and then when it was time, shifted them back into Titans forcefully.
What? That's I mean, it could be, but that's really out there.
He's very powerful, I think is the point.
When are we
Yeah,
going
is that
to learn more details about Connie's village? Goodness.
God, man, that's the $21 question.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's only worth $21 because nobody else gives a fuck.
I'm glad you got it. Okay. Anyway.
All right, last question. Let's get
On to
it.
the
Let's
important
go.
question.
Exactly, the important question. The reason we're all here, really, which is, when do you think Annie will come back?
The chapter after Stiller has enough of the series and decides never to return.
Yeah, when Stiller finally says, you know what, mind wipes are officially a
fuck
thing,
this shit.
I'm out, peace guys. He walks off. The next chapter, Annie makes a grand entrance, just eradicates mind wipes.
I was about to say, she says,
everything
mind
wrong
wipes is
with the series."
bullshit, it's out of here.
Yeah, she breaks the third wall, and she's like, yeah, the audience doesn't like that, stop it. And then Mike Show was like, okay.
She
And
kills Reiner.
gone. Yeah, she kills Reiner.
Kills Reiner, eats Mikasa.
Kills
Yep.
Mikasa, that's right, yep.
Yep.
That would be my luck, yes.
Hits the gym, deletes Facebook,
yeah,
whatever it is.
Exactly.
Hits the gym,
yeah,
hire
yeah.
Facebook.
Lawyer up, hit Facebook, delete the gym. Wait, no,
That's the
shit.
one. That's the one.
I fucked it up.
Wait, we all fucked it up. Shit.
Lawyer up, delete Facebook.
Hit the lawyer, delete the gym, hire Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one.
Nailed it.
Anyway, I don't think she'll show up this arc. I don't think we'll see her until at least an arc or two after this. I know we're running out of time, but I feel like they're so far away right now. I mean, I don't see it happening anytime soon.
The answer is not soon enough.
Yeah.
I mean, really. God damn it. I made the joke earlier in this podcast. Man, isn't this a perfect scenario we could use somebody like that? Isn't
Right.
this just the best setting we could use for somebody like, come on! Really? You even mentioned her in this chapter. Come on. Do it.
And that's all you're going to get, Stiller. That's all
He's
you're going to
setting
get.
it up. He's setting it up.
Every, 10 chapters, he just mentions her name, and that's the end of it. When we have these scenarios...
Don't forget she's alive, guys. Don't forget she's still in the story, right?
God.
I mean, it's more than Ymira's gotten.
Because what's going to happen is otherwise she's going to show up again in 10 chapters. Everybody's like, who the fuck is this again?
I don't know if he's waiting to surprise us, like if he's expecting us to like be able to shock us with her return. We're all waiting for her return. We already know.
I don't know. Well, clearly from the last couple chapters, we do know that obviously Reiner and Bert seem to want to get her back.
Well, actually, yeah. Now that you mention it, there's been. I even said because there's because she's been mentioned so often.
Yeah, so he's definitely trying to bring her back into the story bit by bit.
He's not trying to.
It's gonna lead up to her coming back at some point. I think it'll be either at the very end of this arc or in after this arc, but I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get to the scenario where she does come back. What was the point of sealing her away for that long portion of the story?
Well, we know why her as a character did it, and that was for self-preservation.
Yeah, well, that's not what I mean. I mean, like,
but yeah, from a story perspective,
to build anticipation.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just the suspense, I guess. I'm at a loss.
Okay, what's the difference between her successfully escaping and her being stuck in a crystal for the same amount of time?
I think
she can actively help the enemy.
If she escapes, she doesn't affect anything.
Isayama has a plan for her in mind, story-wise, right?
So, yeah, I guess.
It couldn't happen until, X amount of other events had already set that up to begin with, and those are the events we're going through right now. So I think, and I don't want to jump to any conclusions again because we don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like he kind of took the shortcut and was like, well, okay, her story's not going to pick up until, chapter whatever, after X amount of arcs here, so I'm just going to kind of drop her off to the side until we pull her back into the mix.
There has to be a specific reason why she's in that crystal and why she's underground at the base or whatever. Because if she just...
It provides motivation for Reiner and Berthold and sets up for them to create an incursion into the walls at a later point.
I think that's a good enough reason.
If she just leaves and doesn't affect the story at all for the same amount of time...
Yes, it does affect it because then she's always a possibility and she's out there actively helping Reiner and Berthold.
It's the same thing Ymir is doing right now. If Ymir had gone into a crystal for some stupid reason, that we'd be at the same point. We're still expecting her to come back. We're still expecting her to have some sort of impact in the future.
There's too many unknowns because we have no idea what he has planned for her.
Well, that's what I mean.
Are we expecting Annie to come back? What do we need from her? Like Ymir, we need the answers about what the fuck the Ymir-sama is.
This is what I mean. Her
stuff is just more Titan Village stuff, I think.
There has to be a specific reason why she's still in the crystal and why she's still underground. Otherwise she'd have died, or otherwise she'd have gone home or something.
She's going to do that cliche thing where she's like, you're all idiots, so I'm going to take my own side, or else I'm going to side with these guys because, doing her own little cliche angsty thing. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's set up for that because there's no way she comes back out of the crystal and is like, oh, yeah, let's pick up where we left off.
Well, I don't want to go to that conversation where we try and figure out what she's going to do when she comes out.
This will be funny. She'll come out and she'll be like, it's been how long and you assholes didn't come get me?
I actually hope she does that because they have.
I don't think you'll get that many words out of her. Shit.
Yeah. I hope she's really mad. But
I hope she just leaves. I hope she just bails, just gets out of the walls, fuck this, I'm done.
That would fucking save me a lot of trouble if she'd have just done that. God, that would have saved me so much trouble.
Yep.
But yeah, not soon enough. That's the answer, clearly.
Yep.
I mean, next arc would be ideal. At the end of this arc would be ideal. Maybe I talked about a pinch hitter from Monkey Trouble. Maybe that's it. Maybe she's already free. Maybe she's doing maybe she's doing the cloak thing like she did during the expedition. Why? Why is it not possible?
Because Monkey Trouble already quite literally smacked down that plan.
Well, maybe it was a red herring, and they convinced him afterwards.
Who would that be a red herring towards?
The reason I think that's not true is because she's heavily underguard, and if she escaped, they would know about it.
Would they?
Because even if she hypothetically kills all her guards and escapes, I'm sorry, there's no way she's getting out of that without somebody noticing, being like, hey, all our guards are dead.
She was a member of the military police. She knows
You're right.
the military police.
So she escapes, she kills her captors and hides them, and then when the next fucking shift shows up to take guard, they're going to be like, huh, that's weird, she's gone, and all our friends are as well.
Gone. What happened there? I don't know.
She might have went for a walk. Someone. She'll probably be back, though.
Who do we report this to? How do we... Whose job is that going to be?
Well, I don't want to get in trouble, so let's not report it.
Exactly.
Man, let's not tell exactly. He'll put us in one of those weird bondage machines again.
Nobody's going to report it because that means someone has to ride out Shiganshina. She could totally do it. It's totally possible.
Yeah, okay. Oh, dear.
Please. Really. I can dream, right? I can dream. I can totally dream.
You
Yeah,
can
I'm just waiting
dream.
You can
I'm waiting
dream, but
until-
your dreams will amount to nothing.
Similar lines. I wait till she gets out of the crystal and just goes ham, just starts killing everyone,
Please.
just stepping on
let
guys
that
left and
happen.
right, doing her own thing.
Yeah.
But you know what she'll do? She'll bring back the whole yo-yo thing just to piss everybody off. Because you know how upset everybody is about that? They're like, oh, the yo-yo guy. Whoa.
Man, every
crimes
time.
against humanity. And everybody's
Every
like, whatever.
time that
Yeah.
yo-yo guy, that's always the go-to.
Everybody brings up all the time. They're like, but the yo-yo. It's like,
always
okay, whatever.
the yo-yo.
dude.
Remember that one
Oh
guy
my
she
God,
killed
how you
that
just
one
said that?
time? She
Fuck.
killed that one guy in a totally unique way, and all of a sudden,
Yeah. Well, we don't need to go into this because I know how you feel and you know how I feel about that. That's
Woo.
bullshit.
It is 100% true.
No,
No,
it's
please,
not.
can we not?
You
Please,
are full of shit.
please. Are there
Oh,
any
God, I
more
went to the bathroom
questions?
10 minutes ago.
Can we go to the next question if there is one?
No, we're out of
That was the
questions.
last question.
Oh, okay. So this is just.
So next month we need more Annie questions. Submit your Annie questions to snkpodcast@gmail.com.
For every Annie, submit 5 Connie questions, and we can get this situated
You know
quickly.
what?
You know what?
Don't
Please
be
do
Yeah.
submit your Kenny questions as well. I'd like to hear them.
Yeah, I'm gonna edit this so it just sounds like, hey, submit your Annie questions, and the rest of you didn't say anything.
No, you better put the Connie part in. You better fucking put
Edit
the
in
Connie
Laura
part
saying,
in.
oh yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, you edited like robot voices. Wow, Stiller,
Yes.
that was a great
That
idea.
is a great idea.
Hey,
I
you
mean,
guys,
so is
you
enough
guys,
narcissist, he
you
would do
just
that.
gave me the audio, so I can totally do it now.
Oh my goodness.
I'm probably gonna do that, actually.
No, but put in the
Taylor
Connie
is
stuff,
an
please.
idiot, and he will never misconstrue this audio in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, you know what, Scotty, that's a fair trade. I'll put in the Connie bit, too. That's fair. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
So what was that email address again?
snkpodcast@gmail.com.
Hooked up
Whoa,
on
look at this.
some of
I
that
feel
gigawatt power.
discriminated against and bullied.
Well,
That
yeah,
means we did our job.
You should, honestly.
right? Oh my goodness.
This
We don't give Zach. We don't give you nearly enough shit.
Honestly.
That's also true. It's
I
true
will-
that you are bullied, and it's also true that you are not bullied enough.
We're just a bunch of big meanies.
That's right. Okay.
Yep.
So that's the end of the questions. We're out of stuff to talk about. Let's put a wrap on this. That is the end of the A Cast on Titan Chapter 75 edition.
So it's chapter 74.
This is Chapter 75. And
Is
we're
it?
done. Yes, we're done.
You sure?
Yes.
I was hoping I'd trip him up.
I'm positive that we're done. And we will see you guys next month on the next edition of A Cast on Titan.
Except not, because
Yeah.
Cyril will be dead.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.